companies actually follow all the laws. Many moving companies simply pay employees in cash. This creates an issue for you as they are not insured. If there's an accident, you're responsible. So if you're planning a whole home or condo remodel or need help moving and storing your treasured furniture and valuables, trust Rice's Moving and Transport, fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind. Rice'sMoving.net, moving you into the future.
Steven Tomatoes, sports page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
Hi, it's Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes. They say love and passion makes the world go round. Love for home, family, your country, partner, a friend, and love for food. Stevie wants to be part of your love with our food, drink, sports, and fun. Our passion for your satisfaction brings our love to all of our great customers. Whether it's our brisket, short rib burgers, Chicago pizza, fajitas, wings, fish fry, or ribs, it's delivered to your table with love. So at Stevie's, we invite you to share our love of great food, drinks, sports, and fun. You'll never get bored or broke. We feel loved by the sound of our great customers. We promise to treat you like family, as your home away from home. I guarantee it. For daily specials, go to StevieTomatoes.com. Stevie Tomatoes Sports Page, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. Come, come, come.
Steven Tomatoes, sports page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 6 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
You should have gotten up. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin's supervisor the day George Floyd died testifies Chauvin should have taken his knee off Floyd's neck when he was handcuffed and stopped resisting. The jury in Chauvin's murder trial also heard from paramedics on scene and Floyd's girlfriend, Courtney Ross, who talked about taking him to the hospital for a drug overdose last March.
He wasn't feeling good. His stomach really hurt. He was doubled over in pain.
She says they both got addicted to opioids, originally taking them to treat chronic pain. The 9-year-old boy among 4 people killed in Wednesday's shooting at an office complex in Orange, California, is believed to have died in his mother's arms as she tried to save him, according to the county district attorney. The mother, also shot, is in critical condition. So is the suspect shot by police.
Orange Police Lieutenant Jennifer Amat says the suspect in the Office Park shooting locked the gates to the Office Park courtyard. Officers had to force their way in, breaking the locks. Amat says they recovered several items at the scene,
including a semi-automatic handgun and a backpack containing pepper spray, handcuffs, and ammunition, which we believe belonged to the suspect.
She says the suspect, Amenadab Gonzalez, knew his victims through either a business or personal relationship and that this was not a random act of violence. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
The El Paso, Texas Border Patrol chief who released video of 5- and 3-year-old sisters being dropped by smugglers over a 14-foot border fence says they're doing okay.
The next day when I visited with these little girls, they were so loving and so talkative. Some of them were asking the names of all the agents that were there around them. And they even said they were a little hungry. So I helped them peel a banana and open a juice box.
Gloria Chavez on Fox. The girls came from Ecuador. The March jobs report comes out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time from the Labor Department. President Biden is scheduled to speak about it at the White House at 11. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News traffic.
Good Friday morning. Traffic is starting to get busy around Southwest Florida, especially in Fort Myers. There's a slowdown on Hanson Street heading west of Rockville to Veronica Shoemaker Boulevard. Also, very busy traffic getting off of the interstate onto Palm Beach Boulevard. If you're heading eastbound towards 31, just make sure to tap on those brakes. I-75 is still up to speed, but lots of cars on the highway. The best thing you can do this morning to keep everyone safe is to use those turn signals. That's Trip to the Minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Hopefully you didn't put away that winter coat just yet, Southwest Florida. We are starting off your Friday with temperatures in the 50s, even a few upper 40s inland. Now, generally throughout the day, we will warm up. Tons of sunshine, breezy conditions as highs peak in the mid-70s. We do have a few more cool mornings, though, before we eventually warm back up into the upper 80s next week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
You don't have to feel distant. Come join the conversation.
I just want to say I love America because everyone gets a voice.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. When you need certainty in the home buying process with a loan that fits your life, Rocket can.
The only thing worse than hiring no law firm after your injury is hiring the wrong law firm. When thousands of people call us every year asking to help them change law firms, I wonder why they ever call the other firm. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. We are big for a reason, which is why we've recovered over $9 billion for our clients. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
True relief for back and neck pain.
In my office, Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, every day I talk with patients that for so many years just suffered with back or neck pain. Many just assuming that it was normal or something they had to live with. They'd tried injections, epidurals, or even surgery with no success, always looking for a chair to relieve pain or always dreading pain while sleeping or getting out of bed. It's time to treat the root of the problem. Please don't think there are no other options. You can overcome problems from sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, bulging degenerative discs, or scoliosis. Non-surgical spinal decompression can change your life. Think of how much happier you'd be without pain. This Medicare-friendly treatment combines science and technology to offer a state-of-the-art, non-surgical procedure that is remarkably effective. We always offer a free telephone consultation and free x-rays to see if you're a candidate for spinal decompression. Johnston Spinal Care, we're here for you. Call 596-BACK, 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
You find yourself searching for a reputable air conditioning company?
Don't sweat. Call Brett.
I'm Crystal Casey with Brett Air Conditioning. For over 45 years, our motto has been, don't sweat, call Brett. We are a family-owned business with a great reputation. Whether your AC needs maintained, serviced, or replaced, we are here to serve you. So stop searching and join the Brett Air family today. You can find us online at brettairconditioning.com or call us at 239-566-3633.
Did you get my call screen link, sir?
239-566-3633.
If you don't love your AC company, call Brett Air right now. Find them online at brettairconditioning.com or like them on Facebook.
We come in about 5 seconds.
Call Brett. License number CAC 1819995.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. We are so glad you're joining us today. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. We stream live. DrewSteele.com is the website. You can see that we are live once again in North Naples. Yes, you can applaud. It's okay, everybody. Thank you very much. All right. Now I'm digging for cheap applause. Here we are at Oaks Farm Seed to Table in North Naples, and everybody knows how amazing this place is. And if you don't know how amazing this place is, well, clearly you haven't been here yet. And I'll tell you what, it is exciting to be here as usual on our first Fridays. And Alfie Oaks is going to join us later on. And we'll talk about, among other things, we'll talk about COVID. We'll talk about what's happening in Southwest Florida. There's a lot of things that are going on that we'll get into a conversation with Alfie. So we're looking forward to that here once again, live at Oaks Farm Seed to Table, corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in North Naples. And in case you don't know, they've opened an hour earlier, which is a great thing because it gives us an opportunity to get coffee, get breakfast, whatever you want to do. Come on down, say hi. We would love to see you here. Also coming up this morning, you know, I don't know how many people have been following this story. It's been bizarre at best and crazy at worst. And it's the Matt Gaetz story. And if you've been following what's going on with this, it is wild, it is weird, it's crazy, it's strange. And it just so happens that Rich Kolko, who is a safety and security expert at Wink News, has kind of sort of I don't want to say a connection to the case. He doesn't really have a connection to the case, but he does have a connection to something that's being discussed about the case. And if I've teased enough and you're like, well, what does that mean? What are you trying to tell us? Well, you're going to be interested to hear what he has to say. And that's coming up this morning because it does have to do with Iran and bringing home someone who's being held in Iran. And how in the world did this thing get to this point? And so when he gets here at 7 a.m., we'll have that discussion, because if you're trying to figure out the strange twists and turns of this whole case, where you're going to find out more about it coming up this morning. And let's see, what else do we have? Jen Psaki. How many people love to hear the circle back girl? Jen Psaki. She circled it. Everybody's shaking their heads. No. At least smile when you're shaking your head. Like you're having a good morning, but you just don't want to hear anything from Jen Psaki. Jen Psaki had a couple of things to say yesterday about, among other things, the border, and about the $2 trillion worth of infrastructure that really isn't $2 trillion worth of infrastructure. It's more like 5% of the $2 trillion to $3 trillion is going to be about infrastructure. How does that work? How does it work where we have come to a place now where we have the left in this country who is fine, Democrats are okay with putting something out there and couching what is flat out a lie, where the president lies, Jen Psaki lies, where Democrats lie and say it's an infrastructure bill. Everybody's for infrastructure, right? We're all into, I mean, Donald Trump was big on infrastructure. What's the difference between, well, there's a huge difference when Donald Trump was talking about $200 billion worth of infrastructure, and now we're told that you have this administration who wants $2 trillion worth of infrastructure, which it's really not. And when Donald Trump wanted $200 billion to talk about infrastructure, roads and bridges and airports and tunnels and the like, and the concerns about them breaking down, and the things that we are all concerned about, our safety and being able to move about the country, it was going to be a deficit buster. He talked about debts and deficits. It was going to be awful. It was Armageddon. It was disaster when Donald Trump wanted it, as you can imagine. There's the New York Times talking about that. And then the New York Times says, oh, but by the way, they're not even spending enough on the $2 trillion for Joe Biden. And, when you talk about the things that he's going to do with them socially and economically, what this will mean for the country, the benefits are just, the benefits are, it's the New York Times. So when they talk about the benefits and the New York Times brings something up about Democrats, it's always going to be awesome and glorious. It's really, it's awful is what it is. So we're going to get to that coming up. But the one thing, and the lead to the Jen Psaki audio yesterday, for me, and a lot of what was going on in the media is pretty simple, and it's this. They don't care anymore. They're not shy about it anymore. They're admitting what they're doing flat out. They don't have any problem. Democrats right now are in a place, in a position where it feels like they think that there's momentum. They think that they don't have to hide it anymore, what they're thinking. I'll give you an example that's not Jen Psaki, but even when it comes to how just bold and brazen that they are. If you had a chance to hear Representative James Clyburn, who was on with Cavuto yesterday, he's asking about this infrastructure plan, and he's saying, I'm not sure I understand. There's a lot of things in here that are not related to infrastructure, and it's not like James Clyburn is trying to. He's the House Majority Whip. It's not like he's trying to hide it anymore. Nobody's hiding it anymore. I mean, listen to this exchange with Cavuto and Clyburn.
I can see, sir, keeping it focused on infrastructure, even in the broad sense you do about the internet. I get that, but when I hear about spending better than $400 billion to care for the elderly and the disabled, however meritorious that might be. Also looking at the tuition-free community college, also looking down the road at universal pre-K. What the heck does this have to do with any of that?
Now, what does it have to do with any of it, right? So Cavuto's asking you a very honest, simple question. You're telling us that this is an infrastructure bill, kind of like the COVID relief bill was COVID relief until you find out that only, 9% of it is COVID relief, and that means 91% isn't. So it's like saying that I have a beef stick that's 9% beef. What's the rest of it? Well, it's cow hooves, but it's still a beef stick. No, that's a stick that's full of cow hoof, and it's got a portion of it that's beef. How do you make a beef stick? Does that make sense? Are you all with me with the beef stick? Somebody said it was a great way to put it, and it seems like because maybe everybody, y'all eat beef sticks. You're big on the beef sticks. I don't know. Does Alfie have beef sticks here? Maybe we should check and see the. Well, I don't know. Anyway, they are delicious. But the point, and not the hoofs part, the beef part. But anyway, do you see what we're saying? You're telling us it's an infrastructure bill, but we're putting things in there that clearly are not. They're good, meritorious. They're things that maybe we want to go into and look at in the future. But we don't have to do it right now. So what does James Clyburn say? How does he hide this?
It has to do with educating our children. It has to do with taking care of the elderly.
I don't understand. We aren't Eskimos. We aren't going to be carrying our elderly people out.
Is that infrastructure? That's what I'm saying. And does it blur the line so that you're losing support you might otherwise get?
Now you hear what he's saying. James Kleinberg is saying, but it's the kids. It's the elderly. You hate the kids. You hate the clearly, all of you Republicans out there, Trump supporters, everybody on the right, everybody in the middle, everybody that's not the radical left, all of you hate kids and you hate the elderly. Now, it's a real dilemma if you are the elderly and you hate yourself, which is a really bad thing to say. But anyway, that's what they're saying now. So you hate yourself, you hate the little kids, you hate everybody. You're just a bunch of haters is what you are. And Cavuto's like, no, you don't understand. We're not saying we hate anybody. We're saying we don't understand why we're spending money on this infrastructure bill. You're saying it's infrastructure. That's one thing, but this is 5% of it's going to infrastructure. It's less than the 9% beef stick that was COVID relief. So what's going on here?
You kept it just focused on that.
It says the American Jobs Plan. The American Jobs Plan. This is all about jobs. It's not just about building buildings.
What? Okay, so the plan says it's the American Jobs Plan. Don't you get that? Listen, everybody that's watching me, do you not understand that in life? I mean, this is how James Clyburn is trying to make it sound as if this is legit. I mean, hear this. In the title of the bill, it says an American Jobs Plan. So clearly it doesn't matter what's in it because the title says it's about jobs. So what are you fighting us about? It's about jobs. It's the kids. It's about the kids. It's about the elderly. No, that's not what it's about. But here you have James Clyburn, who's going on to Fox. He's talking to Neil Cavuto. They're talking about this infrastructure plan. It's not infrastructure related, all the things that are in there. And instead of trying to make the case for what is in it specifically, and trying to get around it, trying to dance or anything else. He's saying that he's not only using the terms that divide us, which is, what you hate kids, you hate the elderly, don't you understand? It's about jobs, right? Using all the things that the left typically uses in language to try to get things passed. But he's really not even fighting it. Like, he's not saying, no, you're wrong. He's basically just laying out a plan here that a lot of people are concerned about, which is this, that now they understand through the COVID relief bill, that wasn't a COVID relief bill at all, that at least half the country, if not more, doesn't have the time, doesn't have the wherewithal, doesn't have the ability to, or to care about actually finding out the details, number one, what's in the bill, specifically what's going on, and taking the time past the sound bites, past social media. They're not doing it. And then the second part is a tougher question that people don't like to talk about, but I'll bring up, and it's this. Are Republicans messaging this hard enough? Do we hear enough about, and are we laying out, and is everybody across the board talking about specifically what's in this bill? And the answer is they are. But how is it that you have Republicans who are calling it out, who are telling you the percentages that are in this bill, that are giving you the examples of, like Cavuto was saying? It doesn't make any sense. You want an infrastructure bill, and nobody's fighting you on the infrastructure. Donald Trump wasn't fighting on the infrastructure bill and $200 billion. But what we're saying is that $200 billion and then $2 trillion that's quite a big leap. And so we see what's in here and what you're trying to do, and we can look at this and we can save this for another day. But the problem is that what the media, Democrats, the left, all the same, everybody's the same, they're in the same bucket. And what they figured out is how many balls are in the air. Does anybody realize that lately? You can't look at one specific issue like infrastructure. Right now, it's impossible because you've got the border. That's an issue, right? You got that ball in the air. You've got the issues of COVID right now, and what we're talking about even with the president just the other day and talking about student debt relief. You've got that ball in the air. You've got this ball in the air. There are so many balls that are in the air that in the snap of a finger, all of a sudden you're looking at different issues that are all there, and you can't focus on one single thing. And they're banking on that. They're banking on the fact that there are so many balls in the air that there's no way that you can juggle all of them and be clear and succinct about every single one of them across the board. Does that make sense? The more confusing you make things, the more balls that are floating in the air, the harder it is for us, for you, to focus on what this is and what this isn't outside of the sound bites, where James Kleinberg says it's about the kids, it's about the elderly. Are you saying you hate the kids and the elderly? And everybody should have internet, right? Across the board, everybody should have broadband. What's your problem with broadband across the country until you realize that it's the government that's giving you the broadband? Does everybody understand the difference between the government allowing you to have broadband, making it accessible, and the marketplace making it accessible? That there's a big difference, that sooner or later that may not be available to you if maybe some people in your district or maybe some people in your state or something happens where maybe that funding won't be available because of the things that you do or do not do. And so that is a big concern that people have. But we'll get more into the details of what $2 trillion is and is not coming up. And also this morning, man, there's just so much. I know I got to get to the Jen Psaki issue. The Border Patrol agents are seeing things that you cannot imagine. I don't know how many of you watched the video of the 2 young toddlers that were dropped over the 14-foot wall. Did you see that? There were, if you haven't, it's horrific to watch because you imagine they're your kids or your grandkids. A 14-foot wall. You have these smugglers that grab these kids and they pick them up at the wall, 14 feet on one side, dangle them on the other, and then I think the 5-year-old, it's like a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, they drop them where there's about 6 or 7 feet, drop them to the ground. It's horrific, crumpled up on the ground, with a phone number of who to call that's inside of their jacket, that's there for someone to call. The things that are happening and what we're seeing, we should be outraged. But I go back to what I was saying before. You don't have time to focus on how tragic everything is along the border because you're too busy worrying about an infrastructure bill that you've got to try to stop because you understand what is and isn't infrastructure and you're concerned about that spending on top of fill in the blank. You see all the balls that are in the air and how ultimately you're trying to figure out and make sense of all of it. So we're going to talk about that. We'll get to Jen Psaki's response to that. What about it? And what about Georgia's election bill? And that was brought up. Man, there's a lot of audio to get to, and we'll do that more. Coming up live from Oaks Farm Seed to Table. We are live. It's First Fridays. We do it each and every Friday, the first of the month. So we're excited to be here. And come visit, grab a cup of coffee, grab breakfast, and hang out with your friends because there's a whole lot of folks here. How do I know? Because they're making noise right now. There's the cue. I don't know if you can hear that already. Okay. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News right all along. By the way, drewsteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's if you want to watch. And I believe it's Trace O'Shea who has traffic today. I hope so.
Slowing traffic in Collier County on Green Boulevard heading east to Santa Barbara. Also, Livingston is getting congested heading south to Immokalee Road. No slowdowns on Immokalee Road. If you're getting off of the interstate to go to US 41 or vice versa, should only take you about 5 to 6 minutes. The interstate is still fully up to speed. I'm not seeing a crash right now. We are smooth if you're heading southbound, especially from Lee County into Collier. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Grab the jacket, Southwest Florida. Temperatures are starting off in the upper 40s and lower 50s on this Friday morning. Eventually, we have plentiful sunshine and a breeze this afternoon. Highs will peak in the 70s, but be prepared for a few more cool mornings. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
The Drive at 5 with Trey Radel, 92.5 Fox News.
This Fox News Business Report is presented by Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions Incorporated, providing organic and botanical pest control solutions since 2011.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The markets are closed for Good Friday today after finishing higher Thursday. The Dow closed up 172 points, the S&P up 47, the NASDAQ up by 233. Coming up in a few hours, the March unemployment numbers. That comes as United Airlines says it's getting ready to hire. They're looking for about 300 pilots. An online media giant taking a step towards making the internet a little kinder.
YouTube is testing out a new feature that will hide the number of dislikes on a video.
The company tweeting out the news, saying that some will be randomly chosen and users may notice that there is no dislike button. The company adding that they are thinking about implementing this feature to help the mental health of video creators. Mike Gunzelman, Fox News.
That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jill Nato, invested in you.
The border is in crisis. President Trump made the border a priority, but Biden is spending $86 million on hotel rooms for migrants. Now, Grant Stinchfield investigates Biden's executive orders and dangerous policies. Watch Stinchfield on Newsmax TV tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern as he reveals the dangers. Find Newsmax TV on all major cable systems or get it free on Roku, YouTube, Xumo, Pluto, and smart TVs. Plus, download the free Newsmax app on your phone. Help protect our border. Watch Newsmax TV's Stinchfield tonight.
You probably know Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano for car accidents and other personal injury matters. But did you know they have attorneys who specialize in many other areas of the law? Whether you're in need of creating or updating your will and testament, or need advice about divorce or child custody, they have an attorney for you. And unlike the all-too-familiar competitors, at Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano, you'll be meeting directly with the attorney handling your matter, not some coordinator or case manager looking to increase their numbers. Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano. They've been serving you for over 35 years. Have a family law question? Are you seeking a divorce or have child custody issues you need resolved? Do you need assistance with dividing property? At Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano, their attorneys can walk you through this difficult process as the needed advocate to protect your legal rights. They've been here for you in the past, they're here today, and will be here for you tomorrow. LDTlaw.com. Offices Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Naples.
Signed on the line incorporated DBA True Mortgage is a fair housing lender. NMLS 1626699.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, but with looming inflation, odds are rates will go up. Now's the time to lock in a low rate before it's too late, and True Mortgage can help. Home values have seen significant growth, and with a cash-out refi, you could save thousands, the lower interest rate, and get the cash you need to pay off high-interest credit cards and loans, do home improvements, or put money away for emergencies. If your current mortgage rate starts with anything other than a 2, don't let this opportunity pass you by. At True Mortgage, we've got low rates, fast turnaround, and the smart options you need. We'll also pay the title, escrow, and appraisal fees to save you even more money. Pay off those high-interest debts and save thousands by locking in a lower refi rate today. For a free quote, visit TrueNow.com or talk to one of True's top-rated loan consultants today. Just call 800-353-6040. That's 800-353-6040. 800-353-6040.
Hello, I'm Brian Resney, president of Resney Wealth Management and host of the Resney Wealth Report and TV show on the weekends. Investors come to my TV and radio shows to learn and to get educated so they can make better decisions about their retirement and their portfolio. What's your risk management strategy? Are you willing to subject your portfolio to another massive decline in a set it and forget it strategy, or are you looking for a difference? Listen to my show Sunday mornings, 10 to noon on 92.5 Fox News Radio.
Have you seen what's happening with the stock market? Record highs every day. How long can this possibly go on for? By the way, this is exactly what happened right before the 2000.com bubbles burst. Remember that? Protect your savings in retirement by putting them into something safe like real gold and silver. I'm not talking about gold or silver stocks, but into real gold and silver you can actually hold in your hands. How do you get real gold and silver? By calling the Oxford Gold Group today at 833-600-GOLD. Now, the Oxford Gold Group will teach you everything you need to know about owning real gold and silver. It's so much easier than you think. So call the Oxford Gold Group right now at 833-600-GOLD to get your free gold and silver investment guide. The Oxford Gold Group is the only gold and silver company that I trust, and you should too. Get the Oxford Gold Investment Guide today and learn how easy it is to have real gold and silver delivered to your home, or how to have real gold and silver in your retirement account. Call the Oxford Gold Group today at 833-600-GOLD. That's 833-600-GOLD.
NCH Heart Institute is home to the most experienced and most dedicated team of physicians and nurses in Southwest Florida. Over the past 30 years, NCH Heart Institute has mastered the quality, the care, and the holistic patient experience that can only be found within a nationally ranked heart institute. Caring for a patient, mind, heart, and body. That's the cornerstone of our critical care team, which ranks in the top 2% of all hospitals in America.
NCH Heart Institute, at the heart of what matters most.
You look tired.
Up all night. Leaky faucet.
Did you call?
Don't need to call someone for a faucet. I'm a real man. I have tools.
So
tried twisting it, banging it, squirting stuff on it.
Yeah, the usual methods.
Oh, can't sleep at night. It's worse than torture. It's deliberately trying to ruin my life.
Dave.
And the last thing I'll hear as I descend into a chaotic breakdown is one more agonizing Gah!
Dave! So what's the best case scenario?
Best case? Okay, I make one call. Someone comes out today, fixes the faucet. Life gets back to normal.
That's best?
Well, yeah, but
That's best. Best Home Services. They always have 4 plumbing trucks standing by waiting for last-minute calls.
4 trucks?
They even have a doohickey to fix that drip.
Wish I had a doohickey.
GetBest.com. When something goes wrong, we're waiting.
They come out for something that small?
Or you could just get used to it.
Dr. Svetlana Kogan here, a board-certified internal medicine concierge physician on 5th Avenue South in Naples. Many of you wonder what holistic practice is. Well, good health is like a puzzle. It depends on how you perceive yourself, your environment, what you eat, your relationships, and lifestyle. It takes time and skill for the doctor to put these pieces of the puzzle together for you and come up with solutions customized to your specific needs. Holistic doctors believe that less medication is better and use preventive approach to keep you out of harm's way. This is also a concierge practice. Every patient gets my email and cell phone for emergencies and can be seen the same day if necessary. You are seen by me personally, and we take all the time that you need. You can visit my website, customlongevity.com. That's customlongevity.com. to learn about how I, Dr. Svetlana Kogan, can help you feel healthy and balanced again.
I'm Harvey Massey. Think about this for a moment. Pest control involves applying pesticides inside your home, whether needed or not. At Massey Services, we just don't do that. We prevent pests from getting inside your home so we won't have to control them later. Why settle for pest control when you can trust Massey's pest prevention? It's guaranteed or your money back. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Fox News, I'm Lillian Wu. A key number on the job situation. The March jobs report is about to be released.
8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Economists are expecting 647,000 jobs added to the economy, with the unemployment rate ticking down to 6% from 6.2%.
Cheryl Casoni of the Fox Business Network. Emergency services mobilized in Taiwan, where a train crash has killed dozens.
A harrowing scene outside a rail tunnel, with survivors climbing out of windows and onto roofs to reach safety. Officials say a truck with the Railway Administration slid onto the track from a hillside above. Then the train smashed into the truck. Officials say about 350 people were aboard, and it was unclear how fast the train was moving. A spokesperson for the local railway says the crash was the worst ever in terms of the number of dead in Taiwan's history.
Fox's Rob Dawson. America's listening to Fox News.
Wink News traffic.
Slowing traffic in Collier County on Green Boulevard heading east to Santa Barbara. Also, Livingston is getting congested heading south to Immokalee Road. No slowdowns on Immokalee Road. If you're getting off of the interstate to go to US 41 or vice versa, should only take you about 5 to 6 minutes. The interstate is still fully up to speed. I'm not seeing a crash right now. We are smooth if you're heading southbound, especially from Lee County into Collier. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Hopefully you didn't put away that winter coat just yet, Southwest Florida. We are starting off your Friday with temperatures in the 50s, and even a few upper 40s inland. Now, generally throughout the day, we will warm up. Tons of sunshine, breezy conditions as highs peak in the mid-70s. We do have a few more cool mornings, though, before we eventually warm back up into the upper 80s next week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Plug into the power. 92.5 Fox News.
Right, all along.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling tip of the day. Kobe Cooling has been around a very long time. It's spelled kind of funny, too. K-O-B-I-E, K-O-O-L-I-N-G. There's other companies out there with similar sounding names, but there's only one Kobe Cooling. If you want the one and only Kobe Cooling, dial 239-482-1542. The only completely NATE certified mechanic staff in South Florida. So remember, if you want the company that's been voted the best year after year, you want Kobe Cooling. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in this business since 1949. 239-482-1542.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
Rockstar Harley has secured 0% APR financing on all new Harley-Davidsons this week. Rockstar Harley has over 300 Harleys on site ready for immediate delivery. Finance experts on site to help get you approved. 0% APR on all new Harleys this week at Rockstar Harley. On your credit ends Sunday.
Why wait for so-called one-time refund relief from big insurance companies when you can get the best prices and coverages all day, every day, all year round from Chapman Insurance Group? Hi, this is Brian Chapman, and my team is committed to finding you the most efficient coverage at the best rates. Give us an opportunity to quote your home, auto, business, or flood policy. I'm confident we can save you money for the same or better coverage. Visit CIGFlorida.com or call an office near you today. Naples, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Port Charlotte, and Punta Gorda. CIGFlorida.com.
I'm a salesman. I pounded the pavement 35 years, literally. My legs ached, my feet hurt. It was just sometimes unbearable. I'm 71 years old and I don't plan on quitting anytime soon. But if you don't have a good attitude when you're in sales, it shows on your face. And you can't do that if your feet are aching all the time. I heard an advertisement on the radio for the Good Feet store. And I said, what can I lose?
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Val enjoy their work again without letting their feet get in the way.
I walked in the Good Feet store and I said, my feet hurt. And they said, well, let's see if we can do something about that. What a difference with these arch supports. After about 3 weeks of wearing them, there was just no pain. When I go and talk to my customers, I've got a smile on my face. I can go all day long and then some. It's the real deal. I'm a salesman and you can't fool a salesman. My name's Val and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Call 552-FEET or visit us in Naples or our newest store in Fort Myers.
True relief for back and neck pain.
Are you driving down the road right now with back or neck pain or pain into your arms or legs? Maybe your struggle is getting out of your bed or chair. Maybe you get weakness when you put weight on your leg or swing your golf club. It's time you address this problem once and for all. At Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, these are the conditions that we treat every day, except we treat the root of the problem. No injections or pain meds. Non-surgical spinal decompression, recognized around the country for incredible statistical results for long-term pain relief. Break the cycle of pain from sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, arthritis, or car accidents. Non-surgical spinal decompression can get your life back. Spinal decompression is safe and comfortable for any age and doesn't involve any hanging upside down. Don't hurt anymore when the answer is only a phone call away. Call our Medicare-friendly office, Johnston Spinal Care, for a free telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. We stream live. DrewSteele.com is the website. We are live. It is our first Fridays, every first Friday of the month. We are here at Oaks Farm Seed to Table in North Naples. We've got a great morning crowd that is joining us, and we do appreciate you being here, grabbing some coffee and grabbing some breakfast. And thank you to Oaks Farm and Alfie Oaks and opening up an hour early, which is nice. And thank you to the staff, everybody who's listening in the building. Thank you to everybody who works here. They work hard, getting up a little extra early so that we can be here. And we cannot tell you how much we appreciate you. And so I just did. So there you go. All right, Rich Kolko from Wink News, safety and security expert, is going to join us at 7 because I want to talk about this weird, crazy, odd Matt Gaetz story. And there's twists and turns that he knows something about. As a former FBI guy, and there's some weird connections here that we'll get to. You'll hear about that coming up. And by the way, Alfie's going to join us at 8:05, Alfie Oaks. He'll be up here because we got a lot of things to talk about locally and COVID. There's Richard Coco. Rich Coco, everybody. There he is, walking in the building. All right. So he's very mild-mannered. He doesn't like being noticed. He's got the hat down low, and it's an odd thing. No, that's not really true. But we'll get to that coming up. By the way, can I just make a quick observation that I'm sure every single one of you probably realize. Everybody knows what day yesterday was, right? Just quickly, everybody knows April 1st. You know all about that. Just for all the kids who will be showing up here soon before they go to school or just coming to hang out and maybe play Drew's College later on or that are listening right now, I just want to play this little piece of audio, kind of almost like a public service announcement so we all understand what yesterday means. I want you all to listen to this real close.
It is a danger to not only the officers who may respond to the scene, but if there are occupants inside of a residence, that could cause concern for them as well, and just the general public as emergency services, police, fire, EMS are attempting to get to a scene quickly to assist an actual victim.
Well, what is that? That's a police spokesman. His name is Charlie Davidson. He's in Kansas. Now, why did I just play that clip? Because a 58-year-old woman in Kansas pulled an April Fool's Day prank on her daughter. She called the daughter and said she'd been shot. So her daughter called the cops, and they surrounded the woman's house, and then she was arrested for unlawful request for emergency service assistance. Can we not do that? Is anybody else worried about April 1st when it comes around April Fool's Day that somebody's going to do something that is going to end up like this? Am I the only one? I'm on an island. I'm the only one. I'm the only one that's worried that somebody, because you always have somebody in the office that takes it too far, or somebody that you know that's like, I got an idea for an April Fool's joke, and then they tell you what it is, and it has something to do like this, and it's like, that's not a prank. That's really dangerous. Can you not do that? Let's just skip the day. Let's not worry about the day, but ultimately there's somebody that will do something like that. So I just wanted to put that out as a public service announcement. When you see April 1st and April Fool's Day, make believe like it's just any other day and just pass it by. It's for the kids, right? Just like James Clyburn says in the infrastructure, it's for the kids. So let's. All right, that was a strange leap. I just went from April Fools to James Clyburn and Democrats, which is kind of really not a leap when you think about it. When you think about fools and Democrats. See what I did there? Come on, who's with me? Nobody's with. Okay, never mind. That was weird. Now I'm just begging for cheap applause here at Oaks Farm Seed to Table Live. All right. Speaking of some oddities, did you all hear yesterday the First Lady who decided that she was going to use a little Spanish lingo yesterday? Did you hear all about that? Right? You didn't miss that, did you?
So say it with me. Si se puede. The future is ours.
Except it's si se puede, and she said si se puede, and everybody's been making fun of her, because she said puede instead of puede, and I don't know what that really means ultimately puede, but anyway, it's not really nice. They're trying. It's weird because it almost feels like pandering, but that they don't do. Democrats don't pander. They don't do that. You can't give me any other examples of Democrats that stepped out and started playing Despacito on his cell phone as if he has it on his phone and he listens to it all the time. Remember that when he came out that one moment? Well, there was that. That was a weird moment. But you can't come up with any others. You don't have anything else to come up with. Like Hillary Clinton or AOC, they don't do anything like that. It's I
don't feel no ways tired.
Well, there was that time that Hillary Clinton did that there at that one church, and all of a sudden AOC with a Southern accent. And
this is what organizing looks like.
That's right.
This is what building power looks like.
I don't know. Okay, so I'm just saying that maybe every once in a while a Democrat does things like pander, and it's really not a good thing, and it's not a good look, and maybe they should stop. Like an April Fool's joke. They should stop April Fools. Democrats should not try to pander. Just give us the facts and the truth. I'm asking for something we may never get. But moving on. All right, so how about this? How about the truth about a couple of things that are going on along the southern border? How about some of the awful things that have been happening I talked about the 2 young toddlers. I don't know if you saw this video. It's awful. A 14-foot tall barrier. You have these coyotes, these smugglers who have these 2 small 3 and 5-year-old toddlers, 14-foot wall, bring them over the top of the wall, grab their arm, and then about 6 or 7 feet up, drop them to the ground. I mean, I don't know what it's going to take and how much more it's going to take for people to understand that if James Clyburn is going to talk about the infrastructure is all about the kids, well, how about the kids along our southern border? Do we care about the kids that are coming in we've got, 4 or 5? I mean, the numbers, the thousands that are coming into our southern border and the way they're being handled, where you have a space that's made COVID for only $250 and you have 4,000 individuals there. And so what's being said about this, what's being talked about, and the concerns that people have about when it comes specifically to the border and what we talked about earlier, which is juggling issues. Well, the border is now not an issue. We're not even going to worry about that. And it's almost as if Democrats don't mind, or Jen Psaki and the president doesn't mind that's being put on the back burner, if you will. And even sometimes when they go into the doubling down of what they're doing in other ways, like they're able to have these things bounce back, these issues, like the claim about the Georgia election bill that ends voting hours early that was brought up to Jen Psaki. And I don't know if you heard this, the New York Times, who flat out told Joe Biden that he was lying. It was one of the left-leaning writers for the Washington Post. I'm sorry, it was the Washington Post, that said that Joe Biden is lying about all the things that are going on, the specifics that are happening with this Georgia law. And you have Jen Psaki, who decides yesterday to double down. Like, how do you do this? How is it that you can double down on lies and get away with it? And hopefully they're not going to get away with it. That's the first thing. So here's a little bit of audio from yesterday, Jen Psaki, in case you missed it. And there's a lead here to the story. And it's not just the fact that you have this administration that's lying specifically when it comes to issues like what's going on in Georgia, but there are boycotts and threats of boycotts that have been happening from these misleading statements about the bill, what it is and what it's not. And that's the biggest problem, is that when you have, and don't miss the lead, this is why it's so important, do not miss the lead on the Georgia story, and it's very simple. That when you have an administration that is willing to lie, and then you have businesses that are going to not want to do business, or the left Hollywood saying that you have to get out and you've got a boycott, these boycotts are all based on lies. They're not even based on facts. They're not based on the truth. So it's bad enough that you have organizations and individuals that are doxing or wanting to boycott certain states. The All-Star Game leaving Atlanta this year, who shouldn't have it there. Their Delta Airlines and some of what they said, and we're going to get to that again, and what they're doing and talking about with regard to this law. The point is that that's how dangerous it can become, that these lies can become something that could be not beneficial to all of us when it comes to these boycotts, based on lies. Listen to this yesterday, and Jen Psaki and the administration doubling down on this.
Talking about the voting bill that was just signed from the governor. Community organizers have threatened boycotts on big companies like Delta, Coca-Cola, Home Depot, in part from some of the information that's come from the president. In his last news conference, he said that the bill requires voting to end early at 5 p.m.
Okay, now stop for a second there. Voting ending early at 5 p.m. But remember, listen to the beginning of this reporter who was talking about what the businesses are doing. Don't forget the lead. This is why it's so important. When you hear stories like this about the Georgia voting law, and how you have the president who's doubling down and the administration who's doubling down on lies, and then you hear this.
Talking about the voting bill that was just signed from the governor. Community organizers have threatened boycotts on big companies like Delta, Coca-Cola, Home Depot.
Right? Coca-Cola, Home Depot, all these businesses, they're threatening these boycotts based on lies. Do you see the harm and the damage that happens when you lie? That is, and an administration that knows better. They know what the truth is.
In part from some of the information that's come from the president. In his last news conference, he said that the bill requires voting to end early at 5 p.m. And you've said, and some others said, that words matter. The bill actually standardizes voting hours by counties and adds Saturdays and Sundays voting, and it also allows extended hours from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay, so he's telling Jen Psaki, so the president of the United States is saying it's voting early. We're going to have a problem with this. It's ending early voting. But that's not what the bill says. It actually standardizes voting hours, allows for an extra Sunday to be in there before Election Day, and it extends the voting hours from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It does the opposite. It's the exact opposite of what the administration has been saying. There's no dispute here. This is not up for argument or dispute. These are the facts, Jack. And so what'd she say?
So is there going to be a correction?
It standardizes the ending of voting every day at 5, right? It just gives options.
7 to 7 is what
it gives options to expand it, right? But it standardizes it at 5. It also makes it so that outside groups can't provide water or food to people in line, right?
No, it does not. Have we been through this? I see some people shaking their head. You know about the whole water thing, right? You heard about this, right? So there she goes. So now you have the White House press secretary who's sitting there, who is telling anybody who's listening, explaining to a reporter that you're not going to be able to provide water or food to people in line. No, that's not what it says. It's talking about third party. It's being 150 feet away from the polling area. It's about somebody with a T-shirt that says Joe Schmo, that has a water bottle that says Joe Schmo for Congress, and says, "Hey, you look like you're thirsty. Let me hand you a bottle of water. Oh, by the way, Joe Schmo is quite the individual. He's on the ballot. Did you know that? When you go in there, don't forget Joe Schmo." That's what they're concerned about. Anybody should be concerned about, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, or a Whig, like Charlie Crist is. I don't know what Charlie Crist is anymore, but anyway, the point is that it doesn't matter what political affiliation you have. You should all care about that. And yet she's lying. It's not like there's even stretching. It's lying. No, it doesn't have anything about providing water or food to people. You're not allowed to do that.
It makes it more difficult to absentee vote. Are those things all correct?
Day of is 7 to 7, and early voting can standardize adding Saturday and Sunday. So my question is the tone going to change out of the White House? Or
the tone for a bill that limits voting access and makes it more difficult for people to engage in voting?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But yet, for some reason, this administration is doubling and tripling down on the lie. Why would they do that? Does anybody have an idea? Why would, in your view, you could just yell out an answer. Why, in your view, do you think an administration would be willing to lie about a bill when you can flat out read the bill for yourself and find out what the truth is and double and triple down on lies? Why would they do that? What would be the benefit to doing that? It's because they're Democrats. Is that the answer? You do it because there's a willing media to not push you hard. I mean, he's pushing, but he's not pushing hard enough. And you have people that will regurgitate in the late night hours, and some of these late night hosts, and some of the people like Fredo Cuomo and others that are going to do what? They're going to say exactly what she's saying. They're going to continue this narrative, but it's a flat out lie. And so the best thing that we can do is to continue to call out the lies with all the people that are shaking their head who knew about the lie about the water in line and the food and being denied and all of this. But it continues. And ultimately, that's going to come back. And I'll give you another example of how ultimately something's going to come back. Because there is concern right now that I'm reading about. American Thinker has a great article. Monica Showalter talks about this. You do realize that the Capitol riot that wasn't a riot on January 6th, that we've been told for the longest time was a riot, but isn't a riot, that the administration has a real problem. And you know what the problem is? Nobody's getting arrested. There's no jail time. How do you have a riot and an insurrection when nobody's getting arrested? They've been talking for months about this insurrection and a threat to democracy. The problem is even places like Politico have been talking about this. Many who entered the Capitol building during January 6th protests of the 2020 election outcome are unlikely to face jail time. It's a jarring reality check for Americans outraged by the storming of the Capitol. Politico talked about it. And they're saying that there's a real problem here for Joe Biden, who continues to talk about this in Democrats. The prospect of dozens of January 6 rioters cutting deals for minor sentences could be hard to explain for the Biden administration, which has characterized the Capitol Hill mob as a uniquely dangerous threat. Before assuming office, Biden said the rioters' attempt to overturn the election results by force, quote, borders on sedition. Yet, they're not getting arrested. There's no jail time. Politico puts it as cutting deals. How could you cut a deal if there's an insurrection, sedition to take over the country? The fact is the riot was never a riot. And it's been described that way. And I bring it up because as you continue to talk about the issues along the border, as you continue to talk about the issues that have to do with, for example, Jen Psaki and the lies about the Georgia voting law and what it is and isn't, and even the Capitol riot that wasn't a riot, sooner or later the truth comes out. The truth is always going to win, right? The truth at the end of the day is always going to win. Now, there's some that are looking and going, no, they have doubts. Will it? It only will not win if we decide that there's no fight left for the truth. Does that make sense? The only time that we lose is when we admit and say that we've lost. If we do not say that we've lost, we haven't. I hope that makes sense. I hope there's a little bit of hope and promise in there. Or you can have another cup of coffee and breakfast here at Oaks Farm Seed to Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in North Naples. When we come back, we're going to have Richard Kolko join us. We're going to talk about the Matt Gaetz story. It's a really strange, weird one. And we'll get into that. Coming up at 8:05, Alfie Oakes will join us here because there's a lot to talk about on this microphone here live for our first Friday event, Oaks Farm Seed to Table. Come down, join us, grab some coffee, grab some breakfast. We'd love to see you here. DrewSteele.com is the website. If you can't make it, you can watch right now. You can see us live. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Rush Limbaugh.
Trying to do everywhere. Dr. David Makareth was training to become a disability assessor with the Department for Work and Pensions. When he was ordered to refer to patients by whatever gender label they identified as, he objected. Strike one. Strike two was his reason. He said gender is defined by biology and genetics. The doctor also cited his religious belief. He said that as a Christian, he believed God made humans male and female. Strike three, dude. He was found unfit to work as a disability assessor, and he was promptly fired. The doctor filed a discrimination complaint. Last week, the tribunal in Birmingham announced its decision. Now, the ruling addressed three issues. The judge said the doctor's belief that God made two sexes, his lack of belief in transgenderism, and his conscientious objection to transgenderism were incompatible with human dignity. So in the eyes of this court, traditional morality and Christian belief, as taught for thousands of years in churches around the world, is somehow incompatible with human dignity. Listen, if you think this anti-religious ruling is incompatible with what liberals want to do here in the United States, guess again, bro. It's only a matter of time, and not much time at that. Next time somebody asks you how many genders there are, just say 100 to be safe.
Maxwell, he was scratching and losing some hair. My vet, she says, oh, he must be allergic to chicken. Another vet said, eat the grain. Third vet said, it's the weather. Then somebody said, DINOVITE.com. It took 2 weeks, and the dog stopped itching. The hair stopped falling out. The Dinovite is a big part of Maxwell's diet.
You get some Dinovite, how happy your dog will be. DINOVITE.com.
When it comes to building wealth, knowing where you stand is half the battle. That's why we've created Stifel Wealth Tracker. Stifel Wealth Tracker lets you build your personal balance sheet and track your net worth over time. You can securely link your financial accounts using bank-level encryption and even connect with a Stifel financial advisor if you need professional guidance regarding your situation. Download Stifel Wealth Tracker on the App Store, Google Play, or by going to stifel.com/tracker. That's STIFEL.com/tracker.
People sometimes may wonder why they need a big law firm after their injury. Imagine you're on your way to work and then, bam, Your whole life changes. You're injured, and now you have to fight for justice. Your opponent is not the driver of the car that hit you. It's their insurance company. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
The Diamond District has the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds at the most competitive prices in the world. Jason and Todd have partnered with De Beers in Canada and Africa, and they've traveled to Israel, Antwerp, and India to select the most beautiful diamonds. Visit the Diamond District today for your best diamond buying experience.
What's up, Southwest Florida? It's your friend Tyler McCluskey here, and I'm reminding you about our new show that airs every Saturday at 11 a.m. right here on 92.5 Fox News. Every week, I give you all the information you need to know about your health insurance needs. We also promote local real estate, entertainment, and have a guest host each week. Be sure to tune in live every Saturday at 11 a.m. or download our show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. For more information or health insurance quote, visit TylerMcCluskey.com.
Join us this Saturday at 11 a.m. for the Tyler McCluskey Show, right here on 92.5 Fox News.
Dr. Svetlana Kogan here, a board-certified internal medicine concierge physician on 5th Avenue South in Naples. Many of you wonder what holistic practice is. Well, good health is like a puzzle. It depends on how you perceive yourself, your environment, what you eat, your relationships, and lifestyle. It takes time and skill for the doctor to put these pieces of the puzzle together for you and come up with solutions customized to your specific needs. Holistic doctors believe that less medication is better and use preventive approach to keep you out of harm's way. This is also a concierge practice. Every patient gets my email and cell phone for emergencies and can be seen the same day if necessary. You are seen by me personally, and we take all the time that you need. You can visit my website, customlongevity.com. That's customlongevity.com. to learn about how I, Dr. Svetlana Kogan, can help you feel healthy and balanced again.
Officer Derek Chauvin at his murder trial is heard on body cam video on the phone with his supervisor after George Floyd's death during an arrest last May.
Had to hold the guy down. He was going crazy. Wasn't going. I'm not sure the moment. Wouldn't go in the back of the squad.
The supervisor, now retired, testifies it's department policy to put a knee on the head or neck of someone uncontrollable, but only until they're subdued. Jurors also heard from George Floyd's girlfriend about their relationship and struggles with painkiller addiction. President Biden assigns members of his cabinet to help get his infrastructure spending plan passed.
The president asked a handful of secretaries to promote the infrastructure proposal.
These cabinet members will represent me in dealing with Congress.
The White House is running into opposition from Republicans over tax increases. There could also be issues with some Democrats who are demanding an end to caps on state and local tax deductions. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki.
If Democrats want to propose a way to eliminate SALT, which is not a revenue raiser, as you know, it would cost more money, and they want to propose a way to pay for it, and they want to put that forward, we're happy to hear their ideas.
The cabinet meeting was held in the East Room to allow for social distancing. At the White House, Rachel Sutherland, Fox News.
At least 48 people are reported killed in a train accident in Taiwan.
It's Taiwan's deadliest railway disaster. A crowded train with more than 400 people on board derailed after apparently being hit by a truck that had slid off a road from a nearby construction site. With the train stuck partly in a tunnel, survivors climbed through windows and walked along the roof to safety. The accident came at the start of a long holiday weekend as many people returned to their hometowns for family gatherings.
Fox's Simon Owen. America's listening to Fox News.
There are
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Wink News traffic.
In Cape Coral, we are slowing down on the roadways, especially northbound on Skyline to Gleason Parkway. Also delays building on Chiquita heading north to Gleason. In North Cape Coral, the only slowdown I'm still seeing is on Andalusia north to Diplomat. No complaints on Del Prado all the way through from Kismet to Cape Coral Parkway. Pretty good to go. Over that Midpoint Bridge, average speed is still at 54 miles per hour. The trip to the Minute Traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Hopefully you didn't put away that winter coat just yet, Southwest Florida. We are starting off your Friday with temperatures in the 50s, even a few upper 40s inland. Now, generally throughout the day, we will warm up. Tons of sunshine, breezy conditions as highs peak in the mid-70s. We do have a few more cool mornings, though, before we eventually warm back up into the upper 80s next week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Drive the lefties at work crazy with the facts. Get up to speed. Mornings with Drew Steve. 92.5 Fox News.
Right, all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Guys, more candles on the cake means less testosterone in the tank. But we can turn this back into this.
Oh, yeah.
You just need a tune-up. In men, low testosterone can lead to muscle loss, extra body fat, fatigue, depression, and erectile dysfunction. Suboptimal hormone levels are associated with the development of disease states like osteoporosis, heart disease, and stroke. At Neogenics, we specialize in testosterone, growth hormone promoters, bioidentical hormones, and nutritional programs designed to correct these imbalances and make you feel revitalized. See why patients from across the country are coming to Neogenics and take the first step to feeling great again. Call Neogenics for a free consultation at 277-9999 or find us online at neogenicmd.com. That's 277-9999. neogenicmd.com. Neogenics, rediscover your youth. 277-9999.
This is State Representative Spencer Roach with an update from week 4 of our 60-day legislative session. This week, we passed House Bill 1 off the House floor. This bill imposes a minimum prison term of 6 months for battery on a police officer. It provides an affirmative defense under Florida law if you injure a rioter who tries to burn or loot your business. And it makes clear that police officers have the ability to enforce the law even if ordered to stand down by local politicians who side with the rioters. I co-sponsored this bill, and my message to business owners and law enforcement officers is loud and clear. I have your back, and I always will. We also passed House Bill 259, which allows you to carry a concealed weapon in church. While President Joe Biden and his Democrat Socialist Party are looking to cancel the Second Amendment from behind their fence in Washington, D.C., here in Florida, we're expanding the Second Amendment. Thank you again for listening, and remember that this is your government, and we work for you. Sponsored by Friends of Spencer Roach, Post Office Box 3179, North Fort Myers, Florida, 33918.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. So glad you're here. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. We stream live, drewsteele.com. That is the website. Steele has 3 E's. We appreciate you watching there on the website. And we also appreciate the crowd that is here this morning at Oaks Farm Seed to Table, North Naples, at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road. And we do appreciate Alvy Oaks. We do appreciate him for allowing us to be here. We appreciate the staff getting up an hour earlier than they usually do to open up, to make it available for us and for you to have a fantastic breakfast and so much more. And if you have not been at all to Oaks Farm Seed to Table, what are you waiting for? Because everybody in town is talking about it, and there's a reason why, and they have been since it's opened. And you come down here, and you'll find out for yourself, and then you'll be telling everybody else, and so on and so on. Kind of like I've been telling everybody about our good friend Rich Kolko, who's sitting right next to me from Wink News, safety and security expert. Will you welcome Rich Kolko into the building here? Hello, Rich.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Go ahead and get closer to that mic so that I don't have to make it so loud. And all right. So I wanted Rich to come in here because I wanted to talk about a couple of different issues. One of them had to do with this story about Matt Gaetz. Now, as I was, and you probably heard a little bit about it, maybe you heard the other day that on Tucker Carlson's show, he had Matt Gaetz come on, and literally, it was, I hate to use literally, but I'll use it right now. It was Tucker Carlson who said it was the weirdest, strangest interview he's ever done in his whole life. And why? Because the story is just odd. It's bizarre. Have you, as you've witnessed this, now, for those that don't know, how many years in the FBI?
21.
21 years in the FBI, so he knows a thing or two. And he has, and you have this sort of weird connection. It's not really a connection, but you understand a little bit to the stranger side of this story. So what's happening here, there's been these allegations of sex trafficking against Matt Gaetz. There's been an investigation. They've talked about all of these different names that have popped up, and then there comes a moment in time where the Independent was looking at it and saying, there's an investigation into an Orlando area tax collector with whom he had ties, and starting to feel like that's the connection. Like the tax collector in Orlando, according to the New York Times, was there was a federal child sex trafficking case against Joel Greenberg, who was a 2016 tax collector in Seminole, and it almost appears as if it's like because they know each other and they came up together in politics at the same time in Tallahassee and in the area, that there's this connection between the two. And I wait till you hear how weird this guy is. I don't know if you know anything about this. Did you see? You didn't get a chance to see this whole story about this Greenberg guy.
I read other articles.
Yeah.
About
So talk a little bit about what you read about and what you heard, and then the Levinson connection.
Okay. Well, we need to preface it with exactly what you said, what we read, what we heard. I certainly haven't seen any evidence.
Right.
Anything that we talk about is simply, what we've read in the media, and as time goes on, we'll have to see how that actually, washes out. So at this point, there's a lot of hearsay, but certainly Greenberg and Gaetz were connected in some way. Certainly, according to the reports that we've read, and this goes back to some of the alleged interactions with young girls. New York Times went as far as to say that they've interviewed some of the girls. They've seen cash receipts. They've seen electronic transfers of money. They've at hotels, different connections. And once this got out, it's more like throwing mud at the wall, where a whole bunch of different items have now come out. And talking about the Air Force intelligence officer, Robert Kent, Steve Alford, people that Alford's a previous, he's been convicted in the past. Going back to Greenberg, as you know, was indicted on child trafficking charges. He was just re-indicted on some charges with pandemic fraud, having taken money. So you've got a criminal element here. And then at the end of the day, at the end of this chain, you've got David McGee, the former DOJ attorney who professes to be the lawyer for the Levinson family. And how that even got into there is just bizarre. So trying to read through it is complex.
It's so strange. Okay, so
I had to write it out.
I know, right? So Matt Gaetz, who had text message screenshots, emails, a typed document that supported his claim that there was a federal investigation into his relationship with a 17-year-old related to an extortion scheme against him. He's like, this whole 17-year-old thing is ridiculous. It didn't happen, and I have evidence to show that they were going after me, and all of these accusations are false. The lawyers told him that he wasn't the target but a subject of an investigation regarding this conduct with women. Maybe that's the Greenberg connection, right? So the scheme revolves around attempts by the Air Force intelligence officer Bob Kent and Dave McGee, who is this Beggs and Lane attorney, a former federal prosecutor like you were talking about, to free an ex-FBI agent turned private investigator, Robert Levinson, from imprisonment in Iran. Wait a minute. So get this. So the story then is, and what we're finding out more about and we're trying to figure out is this, that Matt Gaetz knew somebody who, this Greenberg guy, who possibly was connected with all of these things. And somehow you have these issues. Greenberg was the one that was connected really with the trafficking and some of the things that have happened, and I'll describe those things in just a second, right? And then you have Bob Kent and David McGee who come along and say, hey, listen, before this, to Matt Gaetz' dad, hey, before everything gets really crazy and out of control and there's going to be a jail time and everything, we can make this all go away. All you have to do is give us $25 million so that we can get this Robert Levinson, this ex-FBI agent turned private investigator, out of imprisonment in Iran. And the first question becomes this. You go to somebody personally, like Matt Gaetz' dad, to get the money to do this? If they believe that he was alive, why wouldn't the United States government? Why wouldn't somebody else do this? Why would they have to go to a private citizen to do this? Which is just a weird way of trying to spin one part of the story, right? I mean, if there's something here and you're trying to get this person freed and they have the evidence, why isn't the government doing this?
Well, we haven't seen the evidence. Again, they're talking about proof of life videos. There were proof of life videos, I think, back in 2012 or 2013 from Levinson that were made it out into the public venue.
Right.
I think released by the FBI at some point. But for these two men to say that I believe they said they actually traveled to Iran and that they now have proof of life videos, and yet those have not surfaced. Why would they withhold these? And things you talked about where they sent a text message to Mr. Gaetz, the dad, saying, if you give us this $25 million, that's talking about coming from David McGee, a former DOJ attorney. I saw that text message, or I saw it, in the news. I'd be happy to take a poll. Who in the world would write all that information into a text message, which is a excellent piece of evidence that lives forever, and then text it off to Mr. Gaetz? So I'm certainly skeptical of all these things that we're reading, that we're writing, and going back in my investigative history, I can tell you that from Gaetz's point or anybody else trying to fight this case in the media by throwing all this mud is not going to help him.
Okay, so then let me ask you this, because one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was that you, not a connection to the Levinson case, but you know about the Levinson case. Why?
I know about the Levinson case because the role I was in back when he was taken hostage in 2007. I had some connection as a hostage negotiator and working in one of the divisions at the headquarters where we dealt with the family at the time. And in the initial, for about the first year, had the opportunity to meet and speak with the family several times. Just a wonderful family and put through such tragedy and for such a length of time, awful.
But again, it seems so bizarre that there would be this kind of connection. Have you ever heard anything like this where you would go to get a hostage return, you would go to a private citizen to get money from them as an individual to get somebody maybe?
The government's not going to pay money.
Okay,
so there are cases where whether it's hostage insurance, families have given money in different international kidnapping cases. It happens, but a lot of times with foreign countries or with terrorists, the U.S. government law prohibits paying money. So it becomes a complex scenario. But no, I do not believe the way this is spelled out that this happened.
Right. So interesting part of that story. Now, again, Richard Kolko joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. He's a Wink News safety and security expert. Also years with the FBI. And as we're talking about this Matt Gaetz case, and I have to tell you the story from The Independent about the connection, Matt Gaetz and Joel Greenberg. And it seems like Joel Greenberg is kind of the focus of this investigation because of all the things that he's been through. And sometimes it feels like when you read this Independent story that from The Independent UK, that's the connection that they're trying to, if you said to yourself, this is a setup. This is a complete setup. Matt Gaetz didn't do anything wrong. This never happened. This is a complete setup. And you're saying, well, what would give you that idea? What would make you think that this is a setup? This story. So you have this Greenberg guy elected in 2016 as a tax collector in Seminole County. He sparked a separate criminal investigation in the past, investigating him. And this guy has a crazy background. I guess that one of his first moves in office was for his deputies to carry firearms at work despite protest from Pam Bondi at the time, was the Florida Attorney General. Then he began wearing his tax collector badge as if he were a member of law enforcement, and allegedly even once used it to pull over a female driver and accuse her of speeding. So right away, this guy is not the creme de la creme of individuals. So already we got some issues. He tried to get out of his own speeding ticket by telling an officer who stopped him who he was, and it was captured on body cam, and then he was issued a ticket. And then, according to the Orlando Sentinel, he gave government contracts and paid salaries to close friends and business partners, including up to 6 people who were part of his wedding party in 2016, $1.9 million. All right, so there's some issues there. Tax collector's office was used to buy body armor, firearms, ammunition, a drone, spend $66,000 on a server room for a private cryptocurrency company founded and operated within a county building. He called it the government blockchain system. And they installed it incorrectly. It overloaded a circuit breaker, and it started a fire that caused 60. I mean, this guy's an absolute mess.
Yes, indeed.
And it goes on and on. And then the feds raided his officers about stalking a political opponent. He was sending anonymous letters to a school where his rival worked, pretending to be a quote-unquote concerned student, accused the teacher of having inappropriate contact with another student. I mean, this guy is not a good guy.
Not a good guy, long history, and at the end of the day, it comes down to the trafficking charges that he was indicted on last year, and now additional charges.
Right.
And I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The point is, in my experience, especially with the Bureau, is as tough as people are going to talk, when it comes down to an indictment and sitting in the courtroom, not in the courtroom, but sitting in the U.S. Attorney's office with an assistant U.S. attorney and an FBI agent that can present the evidence, these people fold very quickly. People do not want to go to jail.
Right.
At the end of the day,
Okay,
do not want to go to jail. So these people give it up when they realize they're looking at insurmountable evidence, and that's what's going to happen in this case. So there's a couple of people that are indicted here. Alford's indicted, Greenberg's indicted. If additional indictments come along, that will provide an opportunity for FBI to talk to these people with their defense attorneys, and additional information will be generated, and this will just spiral.
So I'm going to give you a hypothetical. And this is just a hypothetical situation, and you can yes or no, or you can default to somebody else. Is it possible that if this were a political move, that they're going after Matt Gaetz politically? It's a political hit job. What they're trying to do, they figured out a connection with Greenberg, a connection that could make it look as if Gaetz had something to do with all of the things that Greenberg was clearly doing throughout his career wrong, and all the history that he has. They know they got this guy. They have a picture. I'm looking at Joel Greenberg's Twitter account. Great catching up with Matt Gaetz and Roger Stone. So they have a picture of him at some event. You don't even know how many times individuals have met somebody, shook a hand at a wedding or something. You don't know who they are. You don't know anything about their history, but there's a picture now, and it's on social media, so now all of a sudden you're connected with the person, but you don't even know them. How many times me personally or you have met people, individuals that I'll see today or tomorrow or next week? I'll shake a hand, I'll take a picture, I don't know anything about that individual. All of a sudden there's a photo that's out there that they can make the connection, quote unquote. So if this was a hit job, then is that possible that with all of this extortion and the family extortion of money and what Matt Gaetz is saying that he has as evidence, ultimately, could that be the case? Could it be something political to the point where either this thing goes away, or there's an opportunity for the Gaetz family to turn around and say, well, hold on a second. This doesn't end here. You can't do this. And the evidence is on their side. And it's being extorted in all kinds of ways, and even politically. I mean, is that even a possibility?
No.
That's not a possibility.
It's not going away. It's not going to go away. There's too much smoke here. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Reports this morning that I also read that Gaetz was showing pictures. Multiple members of Congress have said that he had showed them pictures of girls he had liaisons with. His problems are not going to go away. What the end result is, I certainly won't predict.
Right.
But this is not just going to. There's no magical evidence. It's going to just say this was an extortion attempt and everything went away. There's going to be a bunch of things that are going to follow him along.
So was that a smart move? Then you look at Matt Gaetz and what he did. Then ultimately, calling out this story before his dad had a wire on him. He admitted that he had the wire. So there's evidence to show that the feds were using his dad, and that there was going to be on the 19th, there was supposed to be this transfer of money. He blows that whole thing up, so that doesn't take place. So
there's no advantage for the Gaetz family to carry this out in the press, whatever's going on behind the scenes. It's not going to play out well for them. Again, trying to throw different events that are occurring or may be occurring and putting it in the media. At the end of the day, the FBI agents working this are collecting every newspaper story, every TV story, every radio interview that are talking about this, and they'll go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and it's just going to add to the problems. I can assure you that saying, gee, Dad wore a wire and went in, none of that's going to assist.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy what we're reading and what we're seeing, and I guess we'll ultimately find out the truth and what's going on coming up.
And the big thing, and I talk about this all the time on TV, we call it a digital footprint. People don't recognize this. Right now, everybody's here. This morning, you've got your cell phones. We can figure out where every person went today. Okay, so what you write in a text message or an email, or where you carry your phone, or what you plug your GPS into, that's all going to show up later, and there's no way of getting rid of that. And these things that occurred here, if they transferred money to some of these websites they talked about, where they met or interacted with some of the women, that's all going to be easily found out by the investigators. Not even a complex issue.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we go, Rich Kolko, I know you were talking about this on TV, and I wanted you to mention this about COVID-19 and the people who are so proud to show everybody that, hey, I got my vaccination card. This is exciting. And well, there's another side to it that you've been noticing as well. What's that? The fraudulent side, if you will.
Get your vaccine. Don't get your vaccine. I'm not going to get into that debate. But the issue is now there's some counterfeit cards that are going around for people that choose not to get the vaccine but want, I don't want to use the word privileges, but the privileges that'll come with being able to prove that you had a vaccine, whether that's being able to get on an airplane, enter a federal building, whatever it is. And so there's scores of these counterfeit cards that are now for sale, about $200 on the internet. And first of all, they're against the law. You don't want to get caught with one that you didn't do. And second of all, again, your choice to get a vaccine or not get a vaccine, but kind of unfair to trick other people saying that you've had this vaccine and using these cards. So it's a problem. It's a scam. If somebody tries to sell you one, or you get an offer to buy one. So best I can say is stay away from it. It's the right thing to do.
All right, and we've got a story on that coming up as well. Some audio from CNN from last night that you'll want to hear. All right, everybody, we appreciate a few minutes with Rich Kolko. Would you give him a nice round of applause, because he's a humble man. He's a humble man.
Thank you, Drew. Thanks for having me this morning.
We're going to leave it right there. All right, it is Daybreak. We are live from Oaks Farm Seed to Table as we broadcast live. If you're watching at drewsteele.com, we appreciate you watching. And we'll have more. Alfie Oaks will be joining us coming up at 8:05. So we'll be talking about, I'm sure, COVID and a lot of things that have to do with vaccines and the like. All coming up on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Get more than what the internet tells you. Get up to speed on The Drive with Trey Radel. Weekdays 5 to 7.
92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hello, Florida. This is Representative Bob Rommel with this week's interesting Florida fact. We understand the link between transportation and economy. In 1912, Henry Flagler completed the East Coast Railway, linking St. Augustine to Key West. This railway paved the way for Florida to become the world's top tourist destination. In 1914, the world's first passenger aircraft operated between St. Petersburg and Tampa. Now with more than 60 airports, Florida services over 80 million passengers every year. That's real infrastructure. Unlike Joe Biden's infrastructure plan, that's a big cover-up for the Green New Deal, radical climate change, with over $1 trillion in pricing. So just in time for Easter, I'd say Joe Biden's infrastructure plan is nothing more than a rotten egg. Florida, a modern world-class infrastructure place, no radical climate agenda, and no income tax. Let's keep it that way. Paid by Bob Rommel, Republican for State Representative.
Hi, Michael Crothers, owner of Pure Air Conditioning. Now that our economy has reopened and to help the community, we've decided to offer a safe $29 AC maintenance. All Pure Air employees are supplied with gloves, foot coverings, and KN95 masks for your and their protection. Find us online at getpureair.com to schedule your safe $29 AC maintenance. Join me every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. for the Get Pure Air radio show. I'll be talking about everything from air conditioning maintenance to troubleshooting tips.
True relief for back and neck pain.
Are you driving down the road right now with back or neck pain or pain into your arms or legs? Maybe your struggle is getting out of your bed or chair. Maybe you get weakness when you put weight on your leg or swing your golf club. It's time you address this problem once and for all. At Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, these are the conditions that we treat every day, except we treat the root of the problem. No injections or pain meds. Non-surgical spinal decompression, recognized around the country for incredible statistical results for long-term pain relief. Break the cycle of pain from sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, arthritis, or car accidents. Non-surgical spinal decompression can get your life back. Spinal decompression is safe and comfortable for any age and doesn't involve any hanging upside down. Don't hurt anymore when the answer is only a phone call away. Call our Medicare-friendly office, Johnston Spinal Care, for a free telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Why would someone take a chance on purchasing a frameless shower door from a big box store or an online discounter of an obscure brand, and then try and find a licensed, qualified installer to put it in, when you can deal directly with a local, family-owned business that consults, measures, manufactures, and installs their own award-winning brand of shower doors? My Shower Door is a family-owned and operated business and has the highest ratings on Angie's List and Home Advisor. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdoor.com.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
Look and feel your best with Dr. Patrick Flaherty, hosted by me, Gina Birch. Want to hear the latest from an expert? Tune in Saturday at 10 a.m. and hear all the latest innovations in non-surgical, surgical, and lifestyle ideas to help you look and feel your best. Dr. Patrick Flaherty is known for his faces, the fabulous Azul Spa, and now you get your hour with this doctor every Saturday at 10 a.m. Dr. Patrick Flaherty's show is Look and Feel Your Best, hosted by me, Gina Birch. Tune in this Saturday at 10 a.m. and hear how to look and feel your best.
At LMCU, our roots in your community just got a little deeper with the opening of our newest branch in Estero. When you bank with us, you can earn more on your money with our Max checking account and pay less on things like home mortgages and credit cards. We're proud to open our 13th Florida location at 21910 South Tamiami Trail. Our lobbies are open, plus you can schedule an appointment or visit one of our drive-thrus for contactless service. Our branches stretch far and wide for a reason. You, LMCU. You'll love banking here. Equal housing lender, member NCUA, and MLS number 442967.
Drive the lefties at work crazy with the facts. Get up to speed mornings with Drew Stevens.
92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Wu, there's a shortened day this Friday for the jury in the trial of Derek Chauvin, the ex-Minneapolis cop charged in George Floyd's death. One witness Thursday.
Courtney Ross, George Floyd's on and off again girlfriend. Humanizing Floyd, she told the jury when they met, Floyd worked security at the Salvation Army. Ross was there and visibly upset. Ross also told the court both she and Floyd were addicted to opiates, that they got some of their drugs from Maurice Hall, who was with Floyd the day he died.
Fox's Mike Tobin. More than 50 people are dead, according to local reports, in a train crash in Taiwan.
People leaving the capital city of Taipei and heading down to their villages for the start of the 4-day tomb sweeping festival, when this train that they were on hit a truck which had slid down onto the tracks from a construction site. The train struck the truck just after it left the tunnel and at high speed.
Fox's Benjamin Hall. America's listening to Fox News.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News traffic.
A slight slowdown on Pine Island Road over Matlacha heading into Pine Island. Also delays building on Andalusia just to the north of Diplomat. However, if you are on Veterans Parkway, no complaints right now. From Chiquita to the Midpoint Bridge is still only a 6-minute commute. Slight tap on the brakes on Cape Coral Parkway if you're heading east of Skyline. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Hopefully you didn't put away that winter coat just yet, Southwest Florida. We are starting off your Friday with temperatures in the 50s, even a few upper 40s inland. Now, generally throughout the day, we will warm up. Tons of sunshine, breezy conditions as highs peak in the mid-70s. We do have a few more cool mornings, though, before we eventually warm back up into the upper 80s next week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
I won't give up the ship.
Talking about what matters.
This country is too great to throw over to communism. I love it.
92.5 Fox News.
I'm Mark Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Unfortunately, many drivers in Florida do not carry liability insurance or have limits of insurance that are insufficient to cover your injuries. Uninsured motorist is valuable coverage that you can purchase to protect you in those instances. Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation and take back control of your
office in Fort Myers, Naples.
I'm Harvey Massey. At Massey Services, we know every lawn is nutrients to reach the roots of your lawn, as well as an irrigation program which ensures proper coverage and reduces water waste. With Massey's Green Up program, you'll enjoy a healthy and a beautiful lawn year-round. That's Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list. And in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection. License number CCC 1326213.
Hey, Dave, what's that rattling?
Air conditioner. Always does that.
Sounds bad.
Getting worse lately.
That's not good.
Like the whole house is shaking.
Distracting.
Probably causing internal damage. I mean, it's all connected. The beams, the floors, the foundation, shaking and shaking all day and night.
Dave.
Only question is when. When will my house crumble to the ground in a massive pile of rubble with my stupid, broken air conditioner rattling away on top of it?
Dave! So, what's the best case scenario?
Best case? Okay, I make one call, someone comes out right away, fixes whatever is wrong with it. Maybe it lasts another few years.
That's best?
Sure, but...
That's Best. Best Home Services. They always have 4 AC trucks standing by waiting for last-minute repair calls.
Really? Hate to build a new house over this.
GetBest.com. When something goes wrong, we're waiting.
Maybe I should have called them last year.
Maybe you should have.
So it's almost time for Florida snowbirds to migrate back to their northern homes. Will you be heading home soon? Please consider donating any of your unopened pantry items before you leave town and be part of Lee County's 3rd annual Donated Not Wasted Food Rescue. From Monday, March 22nd through Monday, April 5th, you can drop off unopened canned or dry goods at any library or any Lee County Recreation Center. Additional collection containers are located at the 6 Mile Cypress Slough and the Lee County Solid Waste's Topaz Court Household Chemical Waste Facility. So as you prepare to leave for the season, please consider being part of this effort to reduce food waste in Southwest Florida. Please join Lee County government as they partner with Harry Chapin Food Bank, Fox 4, Waste Pro, and libraries of Sanibel and Fort Myers Beach to rescue food that might otherwise end up in the waste stream and instead get that food to hungry people. Donate it, not waste it. Lee County's Food Rescue, March 22nd through April 5th. Be part of it.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live, drewsteele.com. That is the website. We are live, Oaks Farms, Seed to Table, North Naples, at the corner of Immokalee and Livingston Road. We do this our first Friday, each and every first Friday of the month. So we are so happy to be here with you. And come down. We got plenty of time. We're here till 9 o'clock. Alfie Oakes will be joining us in the 8 o'clock hour, and we'll talk about, among other things, what's going on with COVID and some of his thoughts about vaccinations and maybe even some of the news that is here, the headlines that we're hearing about here in Southwest Florida. And there's a lot that you can imagine that is going on. And speaking of some of what we're starting to hear about with not only vaccinations, but avoiding travel, about having your COVID passports, about the governor here, the great Governor Ron DeSantis here in the state of Florida, who has done just an incredible job here. And there's no doubt that when people think about Governor DeSantis, they understand that you're going to have the likes of Democrats in the state and people like Nikki Fried who are going to talk down about the governor, consistently talking about how Florida is such a failure, it's so awful, and apologizing to the rest of the country. I don't know if you heard that yesterday when we played that audio of Nikki Fried apologizing to the rest of the country for Florida. For what? What is she apologizing for? It's all of these made-up ideas that somehow Florida has done something wrong. Let's settle something right now. Florida decided, thanks to the governor, to make sure that we all enjoyed, or at least coming close to enjoying, as much liberty and freedom that we can possibly have with COVID restrictions and not having mandatory mask mandates that were given by the state, making sure that businesses were going to be open, making sure that kids were going to be in school, all of these things that the governor allowed to happen, and understanding that when you see the numbers across the board, and we know what states have had the biggest problems, and look, they're northeastern states, they're blue states, the ones that have had the issues with cases, the ones that have had the rise in cases. How do you explain Texas, that is right now, how they've been open, and since they've been opening every single month, every single week, the numbers and the cases are going down, steadily down, when in other places, excuse me, like California and Connecticut and other places where you're having still these draconian laws that are going through and rules and not being able to open fully, and you have cases going up. The one thing you have to understand, and the lead here is this: Florida did not shut down businesses, did not shut down schools, did not do the over-the-top things that other states did. And right now, where we are, we're in the middle of the pack when it comes to cases and deaths. Now, you may think, well, wait a minute, middle of the pack, that's a bad thing. No, middle of the pack is a good thing. Because if you look at it, what we're saying is you didn't have to do anything in order to be in the middle of the pack. We don't have a state that is hurting when it comes to the business here in the state and drowning in debt and deficits here in the state. We don't have those issues. We don't have mismanagement. We don't have a problem with the state of being underwater when it comes to the issues of COVID. We don't have all of these things going on, and yet, even with the state being open, we're middle of the pack. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. The left wants to make it sound like, well, if that happened, shouldn't you be at the top? Nobody said about being number one in the least amount of cases in the country or the least amount of deaths. What we're saying is that we didn't have to do anything that they're doing in other states where they're having rises in cases and more deaths and shut down life. We didn't have to do that, and we didn't do it thanks to the governor. And what we have here in the state is a success and a model. But there's a problem with the success and the model, and it's this. If you're looking at vaccinations, and like Rich Coco was mentioning, and like a lot of people have talked about, look, you understand who the most vulnerable are in this situation. We understand comorbidities. We understand those that are the most at risk. We understand where the risks and the deaths have been. We understand that every human being is different and everybody is going to react differently to everything. There are some people that can't eat eggs. There are some people that have allergies to all different things. Everybody internally, if you will, is different. We don't know how certain people are going to react with the vaccine. We don't know how certain people are going to react to COVID once they get it. There are people that have had it and don't even realize they have it. There are people that have it right now that have the most minimal of symptoms. There are some that unfortunately have passed because of it. Now, having said all of that, then you have a a federal government that wants to convince you, the CDC, who, in one hand, the director of the CDC was saying it's doom and gloom, it's Armageddon. She doesn't see anything good or anything positive coming our way. It's going to be really, really bad. We're in some big trouble. But then at the same time, there is a suggestion that says that vaccinated people don't carry the virus. Remember what she said just the other day, right? Listen to this. This, again, is Dr. Rochelle Walensky, who is the CDC director, who says, let me see if I can find this audio right here. Here's what she says.
Today suggests, that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick, and that it's not just in the clinical trials, but it's also in real-world data.
So we've got real-world data that she's claiming that says that you're not going to get sick if you get the vaccine. You're not going to have to worry about carrying the virus. So if you get the vaccine, you don't carry the virus, you don't get sick. Then, like Senator Rand Paul is saying, paging Dr. Fauci, please end the mask theater now, that CDC admits evidence that the vaccinated do not carry the virus. So why are we doing this whole theater, like he puts it, with masks? And why are we doing this theater of people who get vaccinated, who still can't hug their kids, who still have to be 3 or 6 feet apart, where you have separation of kids, for example, in schools where there's no evidence to show that that's even necessary, when you have kids that are getting the virus and are having minimal, if no, issues with it, the ones that are the least vulnerable to it. So what's behind all of this talk? And something happened yesterday on CNN, and I don't know if many people are going to pick this up. Hans Menke is somebody who I follow on Twitter who is pretty amazing. And he noticed something that was said yesterday about vaccinated people. Vaccinated people still avoiding travel. Vaccinated people that shouldn't be able to, I don't know, fill in the blank. Like, we're going to get vaccinated. We're told that the vaccination is what we need. And then once we get vaccinated and we're getting closer to herd immunity, that all of a sudden now we've got to what? Take our foot off the gas. So we got to put our foot on the brake because there's a problem. There's doom and gloom. Well, here's something that, as he put it, is the most honest thing that he's ever heard on CNN, maybe even the most honest thing that has ever been said anywhere, period. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for the most honest thing that was ever said on CNN? Are you ready? You're going to be, you might be shocked. Let me, hold on a second. Just wanted to turn the volume up on the speakers a little bit because I'm not sure everybody can hear me out there. Now, listen to this. This is something that is very important that we all understand. This is a public health professor at George Washington University, a doctor who's on CNN yesterday, and they're talking about the CDC and vaccinated people still avoiding travel, still should mask up, still should be concerned. We should all be concerned. Listen to what this public health professor says. It's almost, I'd say it's shocking, but it's somebody who's being honest. And listen to the honesty. Listen to what she says about this.
Clear to them that the vaccine is the ticket back to pre-pandemic life. And the window to do that is really narrowing. I mean, you were mentioning, Chris, about how all these states are reopening. They're reopening at 100%. And we have a very narrow window to tie reopening policy to vaccination status.
Whoa. We have a real problem here with opening up, with states that are opening up 100% and then having policies that the government is trying to put in place, COVID policies. There's a problem. Listen to this. She's saying something that is quite honest, and she doesn't realize it. What she's saying is, and I'm going to play the rest of this clip, but what she's about to say is, if the country opens up 100%, if the success that we see in Florida is duplicated in a place like Texas, and we start to see the cases going down and people getting back to normal, how are we supposed to start to push COVID policies that are going to send trillions of dollars to states, to the left's corporate buddies, to all of these states that need bailouts. How are we going to be able to do all of these things to keep you all in line and to stop you from living your life if states are starting to open up and show that we should be living our lives? Listen to this again.
Clear to them that the vaccine is the ticket back to pre-pandemic life. And the window to do that is really narrowing. I mean, you were mentioning, Chris, about how all these states are reopening. They're reopening at 100%. And we have a very narrow window to tie reopening policy to vaccination status. Because otherwise, if everything is reopened, then what's the carrot going to be? How are we going to incentivize people to actually get the vaccine? So that's why I think the CDC and the Biden administration needs to come out a lot bolder and say, if you're vaccinated, you can do all these things. Here are all these freedoms that you have. Because otherwise, people are going to go out and enjoy these freedoms anyway.
They're going to go out and enjoy these freedoms anyway. Do you hear that? That we have to hurry up. Because we've got to tell people that here's the carrot, get vaccinated, because if you get vaccinated, you will be able to enjoy your life. And if we don't hurry and do something, then people are going to realize that these states and these places that are opening up 100% where they're not having these problems, they're going to be ignored. They're going to live their life. And what she's saying is that the Biden administration and the government has to hurry up and stop that from happening. It's crazy. It's sick. It's twisted. But that's what they're doing now. Now they're looking at this and saying the good news of what has been happening about states opening up 100%, places like Florida being open, and showing how everything is working out. We're not having this unbelievable rise in cases. We're not having this rise in the amount of deaths and hospitalizations and hospitals being overwhelmed. Nothing is happening. And as a matter of fact, if you're here at Oaks Farm Seed to Table, it seems pretty normal. I'm looking around and everybody feels pretty normal right now, drinking their coffee, enjoying their company with their friends and family. And they don't like to see this. And so what they say is, you got to hurry up and do something and make it sound even worse, because then there's no carrot, there's no incentive to be vaccinated. But if 100% of the states are opening up and not everybody is, or even if they are, and half the people are being vaccinated, but we're starting to see cases come down, then that means you can't enable policies that the government would put in place to send more money to bail out states that have been mismanaged, to do things for green new energy policies that nobody wants, and spend trillions of dollars in infrastructure bills that are not infrastructure bills. We're not going to be able to do all these things to socially change the country and to fundamentally change the country if we don't hurry up and tell people that there's something really bad going on here, because they're going to realize that something is going on. It's quite the opposite. It's a scary proposition that's happening here. But yet this is what they're doing to us, and that is a problem. And we'll continue to talk about this a little more. Alfie Oakes has an opinion on vaccines and some other things that are going on, and I want to hear more about some of what he has been doing and what has been happening here at Oaks Farm Seed to Table, and some of the issues that I've seen with certain politicians in areas like in Lee and Collier County. We're going to get to all of that, so I'm excited about that coming up in just a little bit. All right, 239-479-5592. I'm looking at a couple of different stories that I don't know if we're going to have enough time to touch on, because I see that. All right, well, we have enough time, Jake, so why don't we do this? Why don't we do Drew's College of Political Knowledge? Y'all want to play Drew's College right now? All right, okay. Should we get somebody in-house to play Drew's College coming up? I wonder if we can make okay, so wow, Jake just played the music. All right, that means we got to go to break. All right, we're going to go to break. And when we come back, we're going to play Drew's College of Political Knowledge, 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. We might even have something that we could be able to give to the person who's going to play coming up. We won't take any phone calls. We'll have somebody here in the studio, or, well, Oaks Farms being the studio. Seed to Table, corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in beautiful North Naples. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along, Sabrina Katz has traffic.
A crash at North Tamiami Trail and Mariana Avenue is slowing traffic slightly on Business 41, making that northbound commute towards Pine Island Road. Also, a crash at Woodland and Austin, not causing a major backup, just a tap on the brakes west to 41. This is as Woodland turns into College Parkway. Now, if you are on Metro, we're slowing down south to Crystal. Great way to avoid this delay, Plantation. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Grab the jacket, Southwest Florida. Temperatures are starting off in the upper 40s and lower 50s on this Friday morning. Eventually, we have plentiful sunshine and a breeze this afternoon. Highs will peak in the 70s, but be prepared for a few more cool mornings. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Kennedy at 3 and drive home with Trey Radel at 5. Now, back to Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
Nya, nya, nya. Ba, ba. Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe. The broken Bunsen burner burns so bright. Southeast Asian Peninsula.
Hey, Jamie?
Yes.
I think the only line we need from you today is drivers who switch to progressive could save big.
Cool. I just got to finish my warm-ups. Foul, throw in the towel. History.
Switch to Progressive today.
Santa ski slalom in a salmon skin suit.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment, we've got you covered.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Retire with TriFound with the TriFound Financial Team. Saturday mornings at 8 and Sundays at noon to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Don't miss Retire with TriFound, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sundays at noon. Insurance products offered through TriFound Financial, LLC.
I've been asked, did you plan on becoming the largest injury law firm in the world? And the answer is no. We set out to be focused on our clients and to have a commitment to trying cases and winning. And when you have those results at trial, you're able to settle most of your cases quickly and fairly. Hard work and client satisfaction was our plan. It worked. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's
All right, it is time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you're on a PhD. And we have a live studio audience. And we have a live studio member, and her name is... Wait a minute, I have to put the microphone on. Go ahead.
Mary.
Mary. All right, everybody can hear Mary. A nice round of applause for Mary. Come on.
No pressure, Mary.
I was just going to say, Mary didn't even do anything yet, and you're getting applause, so we got to worry. Okay, Drew's College of Political Knowledge, 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you're on a PhD. Here's your associate's degree question. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, here we go. Who was the president of the United States in 2003? 2003. Who was the president of these United States? 2003. Not too long ago. Don't shout any answers, please.
2003.
2003 was...
Bush the Elder?
It was Bush. It was Bush the Younger. Jay, can we give her... She said Bush. Okay, well, we're going to give it to you because everybody's having such a good time here at Oak
Crowd
Farm.
is turning, Jeff.
They are. You can call me Jeff. All right, so you got a associate's. We'll see if you get a bachelor's degree on this question. All right, how about this? The idea of self-government is in the 3 words of the Constitution. What are the 3 words?
We the people.
All right, good. All right, so you got a bachelor's. We'll see if you get a master's degree on this question. Listen carefully. How many amendments do we have to the Constitution total? How many amendments to the Constitution?
10 or 13.
Is she right? Now, how many are there? 27 is correct. 27. So no, it said 27. That was a tough one. That wasn't fair. Actually, Jake told me that in my ear, and I was like, no, Jake. Yeah. All right, so how about this one? Listen carefully. This is tricky, but you can do this. Okay? In 1935, think about 1935, this president signed the Social Security bill into law. Now, if you think about Social Security and who signed it, you probably already know who it is. If you don't know who that was, who was the president in 1935 would help. But think about it. Social Security, 1935, signs it into law. Who do you think that was?
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Yes! How about that?
Good job, Mary.
Well, congratulations. You got yourself, what did she get? She got a master's degree. That's it. That's 4 questions. We got them all.
Thank you very much. We love you.
Well, we love you. All right.
Do you have her degree?
We do, and we will have a degree for you. We actually have we do have somewhere. There's a degree around here someplace. I don't know exactly where it is, but we do have it. All right. Coming up, we have Alfie Oakes. Everybody ready to hear from Alfie? All right. So in about 5 more minutes, we'll have Alfie. He's going to be joining us right here on stage. Alfie Oakes. We are live at Oaks Farm Seed to Table.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
If you suffer with plantar fasciitis, the search for pain relief can feel like an endless and hopeless ordeal.
I would try drugstore, insoles and supports.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked.
If you think you've tried everything to relieve your foot pain, you probably haven't tried arch supports from the Good Feet store.
And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I don't have foot pain anymore. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. It changed my life.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Call 552-FEET or visit us in Naples or our newest store in Fort Myers.
What's up, Southwest Florida? It's your friend Tyler McCluskey here, and I'm reminding you about our new show that airs every Saturday at 11 a.m. right here on 92.5 Fox News. Every week, I give you all the information you need to know about your health insurance needs. We also promote local real estate, entertainment, and have a guest host each week. Be sure to tune in live every Saturday at 11 a.m. or download our show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. For more information or a health insurance quote, visit TylerMcCluskey.com.
Join us this Saturday at 11 a.m. for the Tyler McCluskey Show, right here on 92.5 Fox News.
Why would someone take a chance on purchasing a frameless shower door from a big box store or an online discounter of an obscure brand, and then try and find a licensed, qualified installer to put it in, when you can deal directly with a local, family-owned business that consults, measures, manufactures, and installs their own award-winning brand of shower doors? My Shower Door is a family-owned and operated business and has the highest ratings on Angie's List and Home Advisor. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdor.com.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
It's day 5 of former police officer Derek Chauvin's trial in Minneapolis. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The jury yesterday heard from paramedics who tried to save George Floyd's life, and Chauvin's supervisor that day, who says officers are trained to use a knee on someone's head or neck only until they're no longer out of control.
Also, George Floyd's girlfriend, Courtney Ross, testifying under oath that she thinks Floyd's friend, Maurice Hall, seen on video with Floyd the day he died, had a history of providing drugs to Floyd, perhaps fueling Floyd's opioid addiction. Maurice Hall, attorney, tells Fox News they have no response to that allegation. Hall plans to plead the Fifth and not testify. Floyd's girlfriend said she and Floyd were together for 3 years. They enjoyed walks and dining out, but they did battle a drug addiction, and she did not like that Floyd was with Maurice Hall.
Fox's Matt Finn. We don't know why a man shot and killed 4 people at an office complex in Orange, California, but prosecutors say it wasn't random.
The gunman who allegedly killed 4 people at an office building Wednesday knew all the victims personally or through business dealings. Prosecutors say they may seek the death penalty against him. Among the victims was a 9-year-old boy. His mom survived that massacre. The suspect was critically wounded by police.
Fox's Jackie Ibanez. At least 48 people are killed in a train derailment in Taiwan.
People leaving the capital city of Taipei and heading down to their villages for the start of the 4-day tomb sweeping festival when this train that they were on hit a truck which had slid down onto the tracks from a construction site. The train struck the truck just after it left the tunnel and at high speed, meaning the carriages were ripped apart.
Fox's Benjamin Hall. In addition to investigating whether Florida GOP Congressman Matt Gaetz paid for travel and sex with a 17-year-old girl, the Justice Department, according to the New York Times, is also investigating whether he and an indicted Florida politician, Joel Greenberg, paid for sex with several women. The congressman denies it. The Times reports there are text messages and online payment receipts. America's listening to Fox News.
This Wink News update is presented by New South Window Solutions. Find them online at newsouthwindow.com.
Wink News traffic.
A crash at North Mamie Trail and Mariana Avenue is slowing traffic slightly on Business 41, making that northbound commute towards Pine Island Road. Also, a crash at Woodland in Austin, not causing a major backup, just a tap on the brakes west to 41. This is as Woodland turns into College Parkway. Now, if you are on Metro, we're slowing down south to Crystal. Great way to avoid this delay, Plantation. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Hopefully you didn't put away that winter coat just yet, Southwest Florida. We are starting off your Friday with temperatures in the 50s, even a few upper 40s inland. Now, generally throughout the day, we will warm up. Tons of sunshine, breezy conditions as highs peak in the mid-70s. We do have a few more cool mornings, though, before we eventually warm back up into the upper 80s next week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Serving up a tray load of truth today on 92.5 Fox News.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. At New South, we are determined to build the best Florida window. Energy-efficient windows that stand up to heat and hurricanes. We call it the ultimate Florida window. Factory direct and guaranteed for life. New South has installed tens of thousands of windows across the state and has been named one of the fastest growing window companies in the nation. And that is why we're New South proud.
Going on now. Save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
With the Diamond District, you get the best of both worlds. Chase and Todd are wholesale diamond brokers selling to the public and jewelry stores across the country at wholesale prices. The Diamond District is also a retail store that you can visit every day and see the largest selection of GIA and Forevermark loose certified diamonds.
So it's almost time for Florida snowbirds to migrate back to their northern homes. Will you be heading home soon? Please consider donating any of your unopened pantry items before you leave town and be part of Lee County's 3rd annual Donated Not Wasted Food Rescue. From Monday, March 22nd through Monday, April 5th, you can drop off unopened canned or dry goods at any library or any Lee County Recreation Center. Additional collection containers are located at the 6 Mile Cypress Slough and the Lee County Solid Waste's Topaz Court Household Chemical Waste Facility. So as you prepare to leave for the season, please consider being part of this effort to reduce food waste in Southwest Florida. Please join Lee County government as they partner with Harry Chapin Food Bank, Fox 4, Waste Pro, and libraries of Sanibel and Fort Myers Beach to rescue food that might otherwise end up in the waste stream and instead get that food to hungry people. Donate it, not waste it. Lee County's Food Rescue, March 22nd through April 5th. Be part of it.
Termites are silent destroyers. They can tunnel through homes for years without a peep. Unless you've invited Truly Nolan to chase down and eliminate the problem. Truly Nolan's above and below ground treatments have been keeping homes termite-free for more than 80 years. Matter of fact, we believe our total termite protection plan is the most effective plan of its kind in the country. When Truly Nolan has termites in their sights, there's no escape. Schedule your free inspection and get $100 off termite control by going to trulynolan.com or call 800-GO-TRULY.
Rockstar Harley has secured 0% APR financing on all new Harley-Davidsons this week. Rockstar Harley has over 300 Harleys on site ready for immediate delivery. Finance experts on site to help get you approved. 0% APR on all new Harleys this week at Rockstar Harley. On credit end Sunday.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Southwest Florida. Good morning, Oaks Farm Seed to Table. Hey, everybody. We are live, our first Friday of every month. We are so happy to be able to be here live at Oaks Farm Seed to Table, the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in North Naples. We are here from 6 to 9 a.m. First of all, a big thank you to everybody who works here, who works so hard. They have an amazing staff here who came here an hour earlier today, actually earlier than that, to make sure that they were open up an hour early for all of us to be here. So we cannot tell you how much we thank you. And thanking Alfie Oakes, of course, for allowing us to be here each and every Friday. And he just happens to be sitting right next to me. Alfie Oakes, everybody. Good morning, Alfie.
Good morning. Good morning. We do have an amazing staff. We have amazing customers as well. We have, honestly, this customer base that we have here at the store has turned into all patriots. It's the biggest blessing in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, we used to talk about there being, two different parties, right? I guess it was Republican and Democrat and conservative and liberal. Right now, there's only two parties, and those two parties are patriots and traitors. Those are the two parties that we have right now. So you're either on the patriot, you either believe in American values and you stand up for what our country was founded on, or else you're a traitor to this country. And I look at it, it's that black and white to me.
I think that a lot of people would agree with that, especially with some of the things that we've been hearing about and talking about. Not just on a national level, but even on a local level. We're going to get to some of that, but. You brought up an interesting point before we came on the air, and I love that you said that because, we're constantly told by the left, the media, Democrats, all the same. We're constantly told that, if you're a conservative, then you are, and here's your box, fill in the blank. You're some kind of ist or obia. You hate the planet, all of these different things that they have been pushing upon the American people to say that you don't care about. And quite honestly, I don't know of anybody who, as a conservative, says, you know what, the planet, who really cares about the planet? I'm just going to take my motor oil and dump it on my front lawn, and I'm going to do all of these different things that I could care. Nobody does that. Nobody's, quite the contrary. As a matter of fact, it's the approach that you take as a conservative in caring about the earth and what's going on with values that, because we have these conservative values that actually help to spur not only growth in the economy, not only liberty and prosperity, but by default would also be able to take care of the things that we love and enjoy, including the planet, and even with health. And you were bringing this up, and I love the point that you're making here. Somehow we're supposed to believe what Republicans and conservatives necessarily. We don't want to be healthy, Alfie. We could care less about being healthy. That's a leftist thing.
It's one of the biggest shams that's ever been pulled over by the left to actually take the movement of caring for the earth or even the health movement. It's laughable when these organic. Whole Foods is a bit of a sham. A lot of the products in there aren't even, most of the products, the prepared stuff's not organic, but it's like the liberal value system. It's all kind of a sham, and being healthy is a very conservative idea. We're going to watch what we put in our bodies. My father taught me that, but he had the organic store, 100% Milton organic store, and he was as conservative as any person that I've ever met in my life. And for them to try to own, what's good for this earth, what's good for our bodies is insane. And then what we actually find out, what they do, is exactly the opposite. And I'm going to use that as a segue to go into the liberal agenda for all of us to get this vaccine. It's really not even a vaccine. That's the scary thing about it. It's under the guise of a vaccine. This is an experimental drug right now that is under the guise of a vaccine. And let me say this. This is maybe for the FBI more than anybody. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving medical advice right here. I'm just going to give common sense advice. But I just posted something on my Facebook page this morning. I don't know how long it's going to be on until they take it down. It's only a 2-minute video of Bill Gaetz. And it's a 2-minute video. And after you watch it, you'll be shocked. But he basically talks in this video about the vaccine being what we're going to use for population control. Now, how many people think that the vaccine is for population control? Bill Gaetz does.
Actually, you know what? I have the audio. Yeah. I found it.
Yeah.
I could play just a little. So Bill Gaetz, I guess, is at some meeting. This is what Alfie is talking about. And they're talking about, obviously, it's about climate change, It's about CO2. It's about all the things that we need to do to change so that we can survive on this planet. It's about climate change. It's the warming of the earth. It's CO2. It's all of these awful things that people have a play in. And so how do you control some of the factors? So he's explaining the factors that have to do with CO2 and what's going on the planet. And so he says,
this equation has 4 factors. A little bit of multiplication.
He's talking about CO2.
So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to 0. And that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average, the energy on average for each service, and the CO2 being put out per unit of energy.
All right, so you think CO2 you see on one side, and that equals people times services per person times energy per service times CO2 per unit of energy. So some of those things can be controlled. You want to take a guess what he's about to say about what can be controlled, and here's what he says.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to 0. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to 0. That's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
If we do a really good job with vaccines, we can lower the population by 15%. Is that not an alarming statement? If you're not alarmed by that, now let me tell you something else that he says in this video that you're going to find out when you watch the whole thing if you go to my Facebook page. He says that Americans use 20x more carbon than the average other people, the poor people in the world. He's saying, so we're 20 times worse of the offenders, right? And I think that the whole climate thing myself personally, I think it's a sham. But when you listen to what he's saying saying that we need to reduce and eradicate the population if we can, and the most people, the most biggest offenders, the people that we would get rid of, they have the biggest impact would be Americans, because we use 20 tons of carbon per person is what he's stating in this event that he's doing. So that, I would never take the vaccine before I just found out what I found out in the last month. I would have never taken it in the first place. My children, I have 3 children, they've never taken a single vaccine ever. And I'll tell you something about my 3 children. They've never missed a single day of school. From kindergarten to when they graduated, they had perfect attendance. Not too many kids do that these days because they never get sick, but they never had the poison injected into their veins. And those vaccines of before this COVID thing was totally different. This vaccine right here is messenger RNA that's going into your veins. It changes every single cell in your body. It changes every one. For how long? For a week? For a month? No, it changes it permanently, forever. There's an extra protein that ends up in every cell of your body, and the causes of that are unknown, but there's many, many doctors that are speculating that this is going to cause, in 5 or 10 years, it's going to cause diabetes, Alzheimer's, all types of different diseases because you're out of balance. I believe that everything, this doctor here, everything that's in this is organic. It was made by the good Lord, and I think that everything that's ever meant for us to be healthy was here on this earth for us. And when we start messing with that, when we start jumping off the tracks, and I think the whole message in the Bible about the Garden of Eden is like, if you think you can perfect what is here, then you've already jumped off the tracks. And that's what we've been doing by genetically modifying our foods and doing all the crazy things that we're doing. We're making people less and less healthy. But
I will say, let me say this, Alfie, but before we move on, I will say this about vaccines and about COVID, and let me just make this statement because I think this is an important thing. Number one, one of the biggest problems that we have in the country and across the globe is that we have been begging, pleading for this to not be something political. We've been begging and pleading for this to be something that we could all come together, have the information, know exactly what is going on. It's been this long that we've known about COVID, so we know all about what it does and what it doesn't do, and been begging and pleading for people to come together and not make it political, but that's not the case. It has been political. So unfortunately, where there are some people where you might look at cases, lives, you might look at deaths, you might look at hospitalizations, you might look at all the things that we talked about before, but where we are now with the amount of cases, masks versus not masks, vaccines versus not vaccines. The problem has become that where Alfie might on one side say that this is what he believes is the issue with vaccines, there's also the other side that would disagree with everything he says. And I would say this: why can't we come together and have a really serious discussion about what is the vaccine and what isn't the vaccine, what is COVID and what isn't COVID, what is masking and not masking? And the unfortunate problem is that we can't. And if we can't, then we have to search out the information on our own. And we know that one side is really pushing back against being able to speak truth to what it is, not only the vaccine, but COVID itself. And so it's brought up a problem with being able to articulate exactly what is happening across the board, across the globe, and especially with countries that we're looking at where we're told that when Donald Trump was president of the United States, and I'll bring the former president into this, that the United States was a disaster. We're the problem when it comes to COVID, right? Everything is going to go downhill. Everything is going to be bad. We're the worst. We're the bottom. Do you realize what's happening in France right now? They're shutting down the country again. France is going to be shut down completely for a month. You're not going to be able to move around. I thought that was the United States. I thought we were the worst. Well, all of a sudden, we're not. The thing is that again, the policies that people are putting in place are causing harm to their citizenry. And we're not having the discussion about what works, which is the state of Florida and the state of Texas and being open and the liberties and freedoms we enjoy and what COVID is against what it isn't and the lockdowns and the draconian things that people have been putting on society. What do you think, that a month lockdown in France is going to make it go away?
We know it doesn't work. We're living proof here. And I've been begging Fauci to come to our store and say, how come we've never social distanced, we've never masked, and we're healthier than any other place in America? We have 3,200 employees. Not a single person has died. Hardly anyone's been sick. Hardly anyone at all has been sick. And the few people that did get sick, we sent them to a doctor that gave them the appropriate vitamins, and they were back to work within 4 days. This is, this is common sense. And like I say, I'm not a doctor, but you're not going to tell me that what happened here in the last year, we're not under some veil of protection. We just did common sense methods. We breathe freely. Another thing I'd like to say about the mask, and this, I guess we'll go back to the information, how the information is being squelched. We have Martin Kaldorf was one of the epidemiologists on the CDC that came out and is basically saying the same thing I am. And he's squelched. He's been taken off of every social media. And there's just as many doctors that think this is nonsense, that think the masks are nonsense, think the vaccines are incredibly harmful, that are trying to get out there and speak about it, but they're getting squelched. And there's many that aren't even trying because they know that they'll lose their practice if they take it too far. We watch what happened to the frontline doctors. So we know that the masks do nothing. That our store proved that. If anything, we have 8,000 people a day coming through, mostly without a mask. No one's, if it was like they said, then we'd have people dying. We'd have had people sick. It's not happened because we're breathing freely. What I say about the mask is the very people that are susceptible to actually becoming ill from the COVID virus are the people that are obese, the people that have heart conditions, the people that have other existing conditions. And those are the very people that cannot afford to ever wear a mask. I'm healthy. I could wear a mask all day, even though it's unconstitutional, it's unhealthy, it's uncomfortable. I could wear it all day and I could still be healthy. The people that cannot afford to wear a mask all day are the very ones that are susceptible to COVID. So that's the biggest sham of it all. And we've done much more harm by the mask. We've done much more harm to our economy with the shutdowns, and we know it makes no sense. But I want to jump back again real fast to the vaccine. This messenger RNA changes every cell in your body forever. Okay, one person is speculating, and this is a very good doctor in town that I trust immensely. That not only is it going to cause all these other health effects later on in your life if you decide to take this vaccine, but it actually puts a bullseye in your blood at that point, because now by God, by nature, whatever you want to call it, our bodies were given genetic biodiversity, and that was a plan that we all have different viromes, we all have different immune systems, and when a bad virus comes along, that's the reason it doesn't wipe out the whole population, because we're all diverse. this particular, the vaccines are given, it makes everyone where they're not diverse. So they could actually target another virus to come down the road here that would wipe every person out, because now they know exactly what your immune system is going to do. And I hate to think that things could be that deceivious, and I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I can't put anything past them right now. So all I'm saying is, do your homework before you ever consider taking this vaccine. I'm not telling anyone to take it or not. I'm not a doctor, but do the research. It's just common sense. I've never ever worried 1 minute about getting ill or my family getting ill. We eat healthy. That's the most important thing to keep yourself healthy. And I swear to you, I would shoot heroin into my children's arms before I'd ever give them this vaccine. That's at least you know what heroin is. You don't know what this vaccine is. We don't know what the effects are on it.
What's going on, Alfie, with some of the issues that you've had here in the store, with some of the things that you've talked about with different places? I know there were some lawsuits. Anything that you can talk about with regard to some of those?
Yeah, so we've been doing incredibly well with all the lawsuits, and I've never been a litigious person, but we were suing the Collier County, and then they tried to fine us, and then they realized they just dropped that, so we won that. They're not going to be able to fine us for anything. They conceded. They used it under the guise of the governor's order, but that's really not true. It was non-enforceable from the beginning, but we'll let them use that as a scapegoat if they want. As far as the Lee County School Board, we won the lawsuit, and they paid all of our attorney's fees for holding back information. The Lee County School Board is a very corrupt run school board, but I think most of them are, as I've dug into more, and it's falling like a house of cards right now. There's 3 or 4 people since we've been doing our investigations that have already left the school board. As a matter of fact, one of them, the political activist on the wrong side there, Brian Williams, was their attorney. He's just resigned. He was the one kind of spearheading them to basically cancel our contract because of our Black Lives Matter statements. A lot of the people in procurement, because a lot of the I guess theft would be the best thing to call it, but they were basically a lot of bad things going on there. Those people are running. The people that knew what was going on, some of them are good people that are getting out just before everything falls. Some of them are very bad people. I know one gentleman that moved up to Tennessee thinks he's going to run from the problem. He's one of the very corrupt individuals. I'm not going to name his name, but he thinks that if he moves to Tennessee, maybe that he can get out of harm's way. But we've got a lot of dirt on him, and it's going to be coming out. I'm not really trying to use that before our lawsuit, but because I don't want to make it influence the case. But after we're done with our case with them, we have a lot to expose there. There's a lot that come down, and we got to clean up these school boards across our country. If there's anything that we've learned over this last couple years is
you can applaud that.
We have to be awake now, and they so many people come up to me and they're like, what can we do? What can we do right now? Everybody wants some immediate gratification to fix what's happened, what we see. But the truth is the foundation that they've built has been over 40 or 50 years. So we can't just undo it in a month like we would love to see happen. We are going to have a red wave in 2020. I believe it firmly. There's going to be 4 or 5 states that we're never going to get a fair vote up from yet, but we're still, the rest of the states, we can have a huge red wave and we can take the House and Senate over. But more importantly, we have to get involved with the local school boards, because that's where they're brainwashing, indoctrinating our children. We have to get involved with our local, in our counties, so that other counties had much worse measures than we did here. And I think if we'd have just had one more commissioner, it would have been 4 out of 5. They would have been able to do a lot more damage here in Collier County, but they didn't have it. But it shows us all how important it is. I think we've all fell into that trap. We've heard give them bread and circus. Everybody stays busy doing their thing while all these politicians come in there and fleece everyone. But we're awake now, and it's time to clean house. And we're going to be having debates here. We're going to pick out the best candidates, and we're going to put good people back in office again.
There you go. All right, Alfie Oakes, everybody, come on. All right, we appreciate Alfie. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for allowing us to be here. We love Seed to Table. Quite honestly, Southwest Florida loves this place, obviously. And we so appreciate you stopping by and allowing us to be here as well.
We honestly, business just keeps getting better and better. I thank NBC for the national attention. We got people coming from all over the country to visit here, and you know, it's really mind blowing when they talk about so many. I've had, honestly, yesterday I had at least 10 people told me that they moved to this area to come to this store.
Wow.
And NBC was actually trying to say, oh, people aren't going to move to Naples because they're afraid of. So we're just going to keep living while they stay in fear. But I pray for them every night that they awaken to the truth here. But thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Youthful, energetic, happy, sexual, strong, physical, no fear, taking the bull by the horns.
Old, tired, joint aches, overweight, wrinkled, depressed, sex. I remember what that was.
In men, low testosterone can lead to muscle loss, extra body fat, fatigue, depression, and erectile dysfunction. In women, hormonal imbalance can similarly cause extra fat around your middle and thighs, lack of desire, feminine dryness, and exhaustion. Suboptimal hormone levels are associated with the development of disease states like osteoporosis, heart disease, and stroke. At Neogenics, we specialize in testosterone, growth hormone promoters, bioidentical hormones, and nutritional programs designed to correct these imbalances and make you feel revitalized. See why patients from across the country are coming to Neogenics and take the first step to feeling great again. Call Neogenics for a free consultation at 277-9999 or find us online at neogenicmd.com. That's 277-9999. Neogenics, rediscover your youth.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. I want to tell you that I'm a rocket scientist, but just because I said it, it doesn't make it true. Your air conditioning tech isn't an air quality expert either. I know what it takes to become one because I've had more than 30 credentials in this industry and over 35 years of training to get to be an air quality expert. It's not easy. If you want to buy whatever junk your air conditioning guy is selling you, I'm sure he'll love that fat commission. But if you want the truth from a real air quality expert with real credentials, call me, Fred Kobe, at 239-482-1542. You'll get the truth and nothing but the truth. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in this business since 1949.
This is State Representative Spencer Roach with an update from week 4 of our 60-day legislative session. This week, we passed House Bill 1 off the House floor. This bill imposes a minimum prison term of 6 months for battery on a police officer. It provides an affirmative defense under Florida law if you injure a rioter who tries to burn or loot your business. And it makes clear that police officers have the ability to enforce the law even if ordered to stand down by local politicians who side with the rioters. I co-sponsored this bill, and my message to business owners and law enforcement officers is loud and clear. I have your back, and I always will. We also passed House Bill 259, which allows you to carry a concealed weapon in church. While President Joe Biden and his Democrat Socialist Party are looking to cancel the Second Amendment from behind their fence in Washington, D.C., here in Florida, we're expanding the Second Amendment. Thank you again for listening, and remember that this is your government. We work for you. Sponsored by Friends of Spencer Roach, Post Office Box 3179, North Fort Myers, Florida, 33918.
We'll buy your car today on the spot and pay you $500 more than anyone else. It's the ultimate buyback event at Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral. 4 days only. Market conditions and a record month have caused a massive demand for your used vehicle, allowing Sutherland to pay more than ever for trade-ins, up to 130% book value and $500 more than any other written offer. No purchase necessary. Sutherland Nissan will buy your car outright. You don't need to buy one of our cars. Bring your vehicle to Sutherland and get paid up to 130% value today. Plus, you can score your car for free on the Sutherland basketball hoop. Make a layup, free throw, three-pointer, and half-court shot, and you can tear up your contract. The car is yours on the house. Hurry, this event ends 7 p.m. Sunday. Nobody in Florida pays you more for your old car than Sutherland. Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car megastore. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much. See dealer for details.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
So it's almost time for Florida snowbirds to migrate back to their northern homes. Will you be heading home soon? Please consider donating any of your unopened pantry items before you leave town and be part of Lee County's 3rd annual Donated Not Wasted Food Rescue. From Monday, March 22nd through Monday, April 5th, you can drop off unopened canned or dry goods at any library or any Lee County Recreation Center. Additional collection containers are located at the 6 Mile Cypress Slough and the Lee County Solid Waste's Topaz Court Household Chemical Waste Facility. So as you prepare to leave for the season, please consider being part of this effort to reduce food waste in Southwest Florida. Please join Lee County government as they partner with Harry Chapin Food Bank, Fox 4, Waste Pro, and libraries of Sanibel and Fort Myers Beach to rescue food that might otherwise end up in the waste stream and instead get that food to hungry people. Donated, not wasted. Lee County's Food Rescue, March 22nd through April 5th. Be part of it.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Wink News traffic.
A crash at North Tame Trail and Mariana Avenue is slowing traffic slightly on Business 41, making that northbound commute towards Pine Island Road. Also, a crash at Woodland and Austin, not causing a major backup, just a tap on the brakes west to 41. This is as Woodland turns into College Parkway. Now, if you are on Metro, we're slowing down south to Crystal. Great way to avoid this delay, Plantation. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Hopefully you didn't put away that winter coat just yet, Southwest Florida. We are starting off your Friday with temperatures in the 50s, and even a few upper 40s inland. Now, generally throughout the day, we will warm up. Tons of sunshine, breezy conditions as highs peak in the mid-70s. We do have a few more cool mornings, though, before we eventually warm back up into the upper 80s next week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Blah, 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 blah. Gear up for the liberal loudmouths at work. Drew Steele, mornings on 92.5 Fox News.
Steven Tomatoes, Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
Hi, I'm Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes. You've heard me say we're the working and retired person's country club. This means coming in for a meal, a drink, or with a party, and we will obtain your complete satisfaction with our food, service, and value. We strive for excellence with your service experience and our food. So on the rare occasion we fall short, tell us and we'll fix it. Plus, at Stevie Tomatoes, there are no pretenses, no attitudes, high prices, or rushing you in or out. Come relax, enjoy yourself, and be yourself. At Stevie's, we love meeting the men and women who currently and in the past work hard to make America great. We appreciate their values, honesty, industriousness, and affection for this great country. So head to Stevie's, where we strive for excellence in everything we do. I guarantee it. In Naples, Fort Myers, and Cape Coral. Come, come, come.
Steven Tomatoes, Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
At LMCU, our roots in your community just got a little deeper with the opening of our newest branch in Estero. When you bank with us, you can earn more on your money with our Max checking account and pay less on things like home mortgages and credit cards. We're proud to open our 13th Florida location at 21910 South Tamiami Trail. Our lobbies are open, plus you can schedule an appointment or visit one of our drive-thrus for contactless service. Our branches stretch far and wide for a reason. You, LMCU. You'll love banking here. Equal housing lender, member NCUA, and MLS number 442967.
Rockstar Harley has secured 0% APR financing on all new Harley-Davidsons this week. Rockstar Harley has over 300 Harleys on site ready for immediate delivery. Finance experts on site to help get you approved. 0% APR on all new Harleys this week at Rockstar Harley. On credit ends Sunday.
Dr. Shane Walker here at Thrive Chiropractic and host of the Wellness Hour on 92.5 Fox News for nearly 20 years. And let's face it, many of us are really stressed right now, and that is creating an increase in the number of folks who are dealing with neck pain, headaches, tension across the upper mid-back, anxiety and nervousness. And if you haven't experienced the release of tension that a chiropractic adjustment can produce within your nervous system, go to thrivenaples.com. That's Thrive, Thrive, Naples.com for a special offer. That's thrivenaples.com.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
NCH Heart Institute is home to the most experienced and most dedicated team of physicians and nurses in Southwest Florida. Over the past 30 years, NCH Heart Institute has mastered the quality, the care, and the holistic patient experience that can only be found within a nationally ranked heart institute. Caring for a patient, mind, heart, and body. That's the cornerstone of our critical care team, which ranks in the top 2% of all hospitals in America. NCH Heart Institute, at the heart of what matters most.
The Diamond District has the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds at the most competitive prices in the world. Jason and Todd have partnered with De Beers in Canada and Africa, and they've traveled to Israel, Antwerp, and India to select the most beautiful diamonds. Visit the Diamond District today for your best diamond buying experience.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. My name is Drew Steele. We are live, Oaks Farm, seed to table. Everybody making some noise. There you go. Now you can hear them. Okay. 239-479-5592 is the phone number, and usually we do the top 5 audio clips of the day, the 5 at 8:35. At this time, we're going to preempt the top 5 audio clips today because I thought I might try something that could be politically or, as far as my job is concerned, could be a little bit of a concern. But really, it's not because, you see, here's what we do. Each and every day, and everybody can hear me, right? Y'all can hear me out there, everybody in the crowd? You need a little more volume? Is that what you're saying? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. All right, so here's the thing. That typically, you could switch that around. That's good. All right, everybody can hear a little better now? You can hear better? Okay. So here's the thing. Typically, what we do is, you want more? Oh, gosh, everybody's screaming. Go ahead, you can turn the volume up. Mike Moody has the microphone. You could turn the right behind there. You can turn that speaker up. Yep, there you go. All right, now everybody can hear us much better there. And then on this side, Mike, you could do the same thing. I'll shut the mic off so that you can walk over there. Do you see that one right above? No. It's the one that's got the little light next to it. You see it? There you go. All right. No, the other side, the one to the right of it. See the little light? There you go, that one. That's the knob that you turn up. And then you can just keep turning that thing up as far as you go. Okay, so what we're doing here is each and every day, typically I do something that's called The Thing. And what The Thing is whatever's on your mind. Maybe you have something you want to talk about. Maybe you have something that you want to ask. It could be anything in the world. So I'm taking a risk here with my, not really. So Mike Moody's got a microphone. So I thought maybe some people here in the room would like to ask a question. Maybe you have a thing that you want to ask. Boy, you all got quiet all of a sudden. I just thought it would be a nice thing if I opened up the mic. Maybe you had something that you wanted to ask, and we can talk about whatever's on your mind. I don't know. You want to talk about COVID. You want to talk about the fact that yesterday was April Fool's Day, and we shouldn't fool anybody anymore because typically something bad happens. So let's stop doing that. Maybe you want to talk about opening day baseball. How about, is everybody excited that the baseball's back up and running? Is everybody excited about that? No, apparently not. A quiet room. All right, so here's somebody with a thing. Sir, what's your name?
Terry Clem.
Hi, Terry. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. What's on your mind, Terry?
I'm getting sick and tired of Hunter Biden not being investigated. And I'm mad about that. So
Yep.
I don't know about the rest of the world, but it seems if any kind of conservative or Republican have a problem, everybody comes on them. They're going to investigate. They're going to look what they did to poor General Flynn.
Yep.
But I take a look at what is going on, Hunter Biden, the Clintons, and I'll tell you, I'm annoyed. 31 years in the military defending this country, and it seems there's one law for the people who love America, and the rest that hate it, there's no laws. So
Yeah.
That's my question. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well,
Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you, sir. Well, it's funny you would say that because there is a little Hunter Biden news. Just in the past 24 hours, 2 Republican senators are asking the DOJ and intelligence community for any and all intelligence records tied to foreign nationals with links to the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, who had business dealings with Hunter Biden. So a letter was sent to the DNI and DOJ. Grassley of Iowa is a ranking member of the Senate Judiciary, and Ron Johnson, who has been all over this, who has been pretty incredible, I have to say. Ron Johnson, Republican of Wisconsin, he's the ranking member of the permanent subcommittee there on investigations in the House, noted that the Senate had been reviewing financial transactions and connections between and among members of the Biden family and foreign nationals connected to the Chinese Communist Party, including the military and intelligence services. So they know full well what's going on with Hunter. It's imperative that Congress better understand the relationship between some of the players that had been discussed during the election cycle and between Hunter Biden, the communist government of China, and some of the things and activities that were going on in the United States, including those that are going on with the Biden family. So here's one thing that I think would be something specifically to look at with the Hunter Biden issue, and it's this. I talked earlier about how there's a lot of balls in the air. Everybody realizes that, right? The minute you want to start talking about what's going on along the border, we got a $2 trillion infrastructure package that isn't infrastructure. It's just like the COVID bill, relief bill, was only 9% of COVID relief. The infrastructure bill is only 5% of infrastructure. Donald Trump, as president of the United States, wanted $200 billion in infrastructure. I mean, we're talking about real infrastructure issues with roads and bridges and tunnels and airports. It's Joe Biden who wants $2 trillion, supposedly. But really, the numbers don't even bear it out. We know the Green New Deal numbers. We know the numbers that are going to be going towards these electric charging stations for vehicles. I mean, billions of dollars that are going towards schools and broadband across the country. What does it have to do with infrastructure for a lot of these issues that they're bringing up? All of these things that are happening. But the problem is that there's so many balls in the air that it's really hard for you when you're talking about the Hunter Biden issue to focus on that one, because we've got the border issue, we've got the infrastructure issue, we've got all of these other things that are floating in the air, and we're trying to get to them. The best thing we can do is make sure, like Alfie was talking about a few minutes ago, that in 2022 there's an election that's going to be happening, and I'm just telling you right now, I'm telling you, I promise you, that before you start saying things like the elections and the election integrity and the things that happened in Pennsylvania and Georgia and other places and how are we ever going to win again, I'm telling you that the possibility is there because of the fact that when you're talking about the laws that were put in place that allowed for the things to happen in 2020, that was because of COVID. Remember, all the things and all the changes that were made and all the last-minute moves were because they had to do it because of the pandemic. If the pandemic goes away and all the issues go away, if you're talking about vaccines or herd immunity, and all of a sudden places are opening up, like Florida and Texas, where they're opening up 100%, let's say, and all of a sudden the numbers start to go down and there's no pandemic, well, there are no emergency issues that we're going to have with elections like they had in places like Pennsylvania and Georgia, where they were changing elections on the fly. If they don't do that anymore, then we get back to the integrity that the Georgia law was trying to put in place and others are going to do. In other words, they can't make that excuse the next time. The next time is just around the corner. Do you see what I'm saying? Again, just to make sure we're all on the same page. The reason why 2020 happened and the issues of election integrity happened was because states said that because of the pandemic, unusual circumstances had to happen that will not be able to happen in 2022 because we won't be in that same situation. So if that's the case, if that happens, then we are back to where it comes out to you getting out to make sure that you and your family are out there to vote en masse. And I'm just telling you, the issues along the border are not going to go away anytime soon. Joe Biden's issues of trying to climb a staircase are not going away anytime soon. Kamala Harris is Vice President of the United States, who we're told is in charge of the border and hasn't done a thing about it is not going away. So the good news on the other side of that is what I'm trying to say is that 2022 is going to be important. That's how we're going to be able to investigate. That's how we're going to find out more about Hunter Biden and some of the other issues that they want to go away, but they won't because there are Republicans that will not allow this to go away. They'll come back up with the House and the Senate. Everybody understand that? Are we all on the same page? Right? I mean, I know there's doubt. I know people are kind of shaking their head and they're not really sure, but that's what you have to look at. And always, 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 please, I'm begging you, remember this. We're not defeated until we tell ourselves and everybody else we're defeated. There is no defeat. We don't go away, right? Conservatives, Republicans, we're not going anywhere. So if they tell us you're all defeated, you're just going to have to suck it up. No, we don't. And we don't have to admit that there's any kind of going away or defeat unless we tell ourselves there is. And I'm saying to you that there isn't. Okay. Hope that makes some sense. All right. What's your name?
My name is Linda.
Hello, Linda. Welcome, Linda. Linda's up on the microphone. Come on.
Can I turn this way?
All right, Linda, go ahead.
I have my back to them.
Go ahead, Linda.
Okay. My big issue, there's many, but one of the biggest ones is having the illegals being taught down in San Diego. And I'm a retired teacher, and I'm from California, so it frustrates me to the hilt that they're expecting illegals and teachers to go in and teach those illegals that aren't even from here. And we got children that have been out of school across the nation for over a year, and the teachers are not going into class. I'm not speaking of Florida, but there's other places where they're locked out, they're put onto computers, and the kids are not learning. Our children are not learning, but they're expecting to send those teachers, if they're willing, to go into those centers to teach illegal students, or children and students. A lot of those are not even well educated from the countries they come from. So there's a lot of issues in that to expect our teachers to do that when they should be doing it for our own. And I speak for not just as a teacher, but for parents and for the children. It is wrong, it's unfair, and for our government to do that is absolutely ludicrous.
All right. Well, if you don't know...
Tell us how you really feel, Linda.
Yeah, thank you, Linda. Just in case you don't know the story that she's talking about, teachers in San Diego are going to the city's convention center to instruct immigrant children, the ones that are here illegally, in person, even as the schools in San Diego largely are online only. So they're telling the kids that you can't come to school, you can't come to the classrooms, we can't instruct you in person, but somehow they're going to be instructing in person the illegal immigrant children that are in the country, and that is clearly a problem. Like, how do we do that? How is it possible that that's happening? And the other part of it, to Linda's point, and make no mistake about it, is that we do have an issue, and I think we can all agree with this. We do have an issue when it comes to what's being taught in our schools. I made the point yesterday. I can't believe I would be quoting Bill Maher, but I am, and he made a point on his program over the weekend that many people are picking up on, and it's this. There was a time when parents went to school. How many of you went to a parent-teacher meeting when you were a parent of a child in a school? And you went to meet the teachers, and you're like, hey, I want to sit down. I just want to know what's going on. Here's what I'm concerned about. Or tell me more about what you're doing, to have that one-on-one. There was a time when the parents went to the teachers and told them the concerns that they had. And then the teachers would be like, well, all right, we didn't realize that was a problem. They would go back to the district. The parents were telling the teachers what to do, the way it should be. All of a sudden now, everything is flipped. That doesn't happen anymore. Now it's the districts and the teachers that are telling you what you're going to do, or what they're going to do with your kids, whether you like it or not. We don't have that situation anymore. We don't have the parents. I mean, I'm not saying that there are not parents that care about the education of their kids and are not concerned and are not speaking out about it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the teachers and the unions aren't listening. Clearly, we know that. One thing that's been demonstrated, unfortunately, throughout this pandemic and throughout this administration, quite frankly, in the past couple of months, is we have seen how beholden politicians are to the teachers' unions, how in places not like the state of Florida, but places like California and other places, where the unions have no reason. There's no science and data and reason for the schools to be closed, and yet the teachers will not do it. And why? Because it's about the money. It's about them. It's about their unions and their and the individuals there. It's not about the kids. They've proven that the teachers' unions, unfortunately, I'm not speaking about teachers individually. I'm talking about the unions and how they don't care about the kids. But what they care about is their themselves and the unions and the money and influence and power. And it's really unfortunate something that's happening. All right, sir. What's your name?
Ken Skelton.
Hello, Ken.
I'm a recovering night owl that gets up at 6 a.m. to listen to you because you have such an interesting show.
Well, thank you, sir.
I was just wanted to ask if any of your family still lives back up north, because all my family lives in Maine and New York.
Yes, they do. They all think I'm crazy. I just had this conversation just a little while ago with the folks there from Massachusetts, right over there.
Yeah.
And I was having the conversation and how, let's just put it this way. Growing up in New York, family on Long Island, in Brooklyn, in New Jersey, let's just say that I'm not exactly with all of them. Or there are some that are on my side and understand, and most of them are not.
You've heard from Drew's mother before.
Oh,
let's go. Drew's mom.
All right. So this is my mom. My mom's listening right now, and I'm sorry, she hates when I do this. She says it doesn't sound anything like her. So my mom would say, "Listen, your family is very nice, all right? I'm just telling you, your family is nice. They're a little confused. They don't think like we do, but it's nothing that if we got to get... The problem is you don't come visit enough. That's what it is. And if you would come, I would make you a nice meal. I'd have a nice piece of fish, something nice that you... That's what it is. It's because I don't visit enough."
Come on, give him a little love for Drew's impression of his mother.
Don't applaud that, because my mom hates that. But anyway... So,
did you go to the beach on your days off when Michael Pelka filled in?
Boy, you have a lot of, these are all personal questions. No, what I did was, so Mike, who's usually on with us on Fridays, he's not with us today because he's feeling a little under the weather. I had the opportunity to go and visit with my sister and my brother-in-law and my cousins that I have not seen in a very, very long time. And so it was a wonderful time to be able to spend with them. And as everybody knows, and I'm not the only one that has this situation where due to COVID, there are family members that you don't get to see. My parents are in their 80s. I know, I'm sorry, Mom, saying that. But they're in their 80s, and clearly through COVID and being in New Jersey where they live right now, there's a problem with leaving the state, coming here. My mom not of the best of health at the moment, but getting better, on the mend. And so that missing that one-on-one and to be able to see them. And so the same situation with my sister and my brother-in-law. And so to be able to see them has been an incredible blessing. And for them to be here was great. All right, Ken. Thank you, Ken. All right, how are we doing? We have one more question, and then we're going to finish up the thing here today. All right, your name, sir, is...
Good morning, Drew. My name's Manny.
Hi, Manny.
And I just have a comment. I believe the new progressive Democrats simply use two feelings that are natural to all of us. It's guilt and fear. If you think about everything they're doing, it has to be with guilt or fear. If you don't feel guilty for having a good morning out here and enjoying your breakfast, they make it an issue. And if you don't make it an issue, they'll make you fear them. They'll come up here and make you fear and to walk away. It's as simple as that. If you imply that in everything they do, that's what they're doing. Thank you.
All right. Well, there you go. And to Manny's point, it is about the emotions, right? That's how the left in this country works. It's all about the emotions. It's all about playing to the emotions. And if you were here early on, a perfect example, and I'll play a little audio clip before we go, of the emotional part of an infrastructure bill that has 5% of it that's going to go towards infrastructure, and the rest of it has to do with the Green New Deal, that has to do with climate change, that has to do with teachers' unions and kickbacks and all kinds of things. And Neil Cavuto, speaking with James Clyburn yesterday, House Majority Whip, about the fact that when you look at the infrastructure bill, everybody, there's not a whole lot of infrastructure in there, right?
I can see, sir, keeping it focused on infrastructure, even in the broad sense you do about the internet. I get that. But when I hear about spending better than $400 billion to care for the elderly and the disabled, however meritorious that might be, also looking at the tuition-free community college, also looking down the road at universal pre-K, what the heck does this have to do with any of that?
It has to do with educating our children. It has to do with taking care of the elderly. I don't understand. We aren't Eskimos. We aren't going to be carrying our elderly people out.
All right, so let me just stop there. We're not Eskimos. I don't know what Eskimos has to do with anything. But the point is, do you see what he said? What did he say? It's about the kids. It's about the elderly. Are you telling me, Neil, you and other Republicans and all you conservatives and you in the media, you hate the kids and you hate the elderly? And it's like, wait a minute, I am the elderly. I don't hate myself. The point is the emotional part is there. That's James Clyburn, Democrat, who's saying, but you just don't care. You don't care about the... No, we care about infrastructure, and you're saying it's infrastructure, but the rest of this money is going to things that doesn't have to do with infrastructure. We can talk about that separate from the other one. No, you can't because it's about the kids. So always remember, I leave you today on an Easter Sunday where we celebrate the risen Savior, Jesus Christ. We will be in church on Sunday. We will be celebrating Easter, and I will tell you this, it's about the kids. That's all it is, everybody. It's about the kids. All right, listen, thank you so much for being here at Oaks Farm Seed to Table. We so appreciate Alfie Oaks for letting us be here every first Friday of the month. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News right all along with Brittany Van Voorhees has the remainder of our weekend forecasts.
You don't have to feel distant. Come join the conversation.
I am mad at everything.
Or not.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Right.
You really just screwed me really, really bad. Because the commercials are going to now run into Glenn Beck's show and